Good morning, I'm John ColeMorgan and welcome to Sewing Street. It's so lovely to have you here as our early birds. I am so grateful to have you today. Look what I've got, look what I've got. I am so excited. That's our 9 o'clock show today. Not going to do any more about that. What I am going to do first is this fantastic early bird special. Now we all know our fabulous Debbie Shaw. She must have written so many books. It's incredible. We've got 2 of them here today in this fabulous bundle. This one's Sewing Room Accessories, Quilted Covers and Cozies, and then we've got the fabulous Cecilia Hanselman. If I have said your name wrong, forgive me, I'm dreadful with names. And we've got this wonderful patchwork bags, and you're getting all 3 of these fabulous books for an incredibly special price here for $15.98. They are incredible. So you're not only getting the patchwork bags there by Cecilia, you're also getting the Quilted Covers and Cozies by Debbie Shaw, and also the Sewing Room Accessories by Debbie Shaw. Such a fantastic deal this. All of these 3 books for $15.98. Absolutely incredible. Let me show you some of these books and have a little look and see them. We had these bundles on before, but we actually ended up selling out of them. 2 seconds. So we've managed to order more in, especially for this. And just look at these fabulous things. A bottle cozy. Oh, look at the adorability of these. These are amazing. Well, you see, you expect nothing less from Debbie. She is so good. Absolutely incredible. A sunglasses case. Look at that. £5.32 a book on these. Look at these, and the phone covers and everything. Oh, absolutely. Hot water bottle. I've been using a hot water bottle quite a lot recently because it's getting quite chilly at night. And also to rest my weary wrists after all the sewing. There was quite a lot of that yesterday. But I love these where you can cover the coffee cozies, keeping it that little bit warmer. But the great thing with Debbie's books, they all, look at that! Sorry, I get this thought in my head and then get distracted. This fabulous caravan toaster cover there. Debbie's just got this very easy way of writing books that they're so easy to understand, and they inspire you as well to do different things that you may not have thought of doing before. And these projects, they're quite small, which is great, because if you're quite new to sewing as well, doing something like a tissue box cover, that's a great way to learn. And you're going to be able to do your applique on that and doing your stitching on that. It's a really, really nice way to learn on a smaller project that you can just start out with. I think it's great. And her step-by-steps are fantastic, as you can see. And she gets a lot of compliments on how easy and straightforward the work is and how the books just flow so perfectly. Even on this, I know I could do that, and that's got a bias binding on, and I'm terrified of them. There are so many projects in here. Oh my goodness, and a sewing machine cover. Oh, I like that. Oh, and I like the fact you've got space for little rulers and bits like that on. Oh, she is clever. So this is just one of the books that you're getting in this deal. So, oh my gosh, look at these templates. Sorry, I get very enthusiastic about books, as you know. I absolutely love that. So that's the first book that you're getting in this deal. Quilted Covers and Cozies, that's by Debbie Shaw. We'll stay with Debbie Shaw now and do Sewing Room Accessories. And this is from her, from the author of the best-selling Half Yard series. And we've got all, oh, look at this bag! The first thing I open up to, I have to make. Look at that. Because I find, but you want to be inspired every time you open the book and you think, oh, actually, I don't know what that is, but it is so cute. And I wanted a tidy caddy. Oh, that is so clever. I've never made any bags. That's so astonishing. I'm looking at this and thinking, oh my goodness, look at that one. Oh, and you can put your, oh my goodness, this is so great. So you can actually sew on it to stop that vibration, but then you can cover it up afterwards as well. It's genius. Oh, that Debbie is clever. Oh, for the ribbon stash. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's very clever. Really, really, really adorable, these. Oh, and her husband does all the photography. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm loving this. Oh, and it tells you how to apply bias binding as well. So not only are you getting the projects, you're also getting the tips on how to do it all. Oh, I'm loving this. These are such a fabulous deal here. We've got 3 books for you. 2 of Debbie Shaw's. One is the Sewing Room Accessories book by Debbie Shaw. And I'm doing really well with the lights here today. Quilted Covers and Cozies, also by Debbie Shaw. And we've got this one, Patchwork Bags by Cecilia Hanselman. All 3 of these books, all 3 of these books are $15.98. Sorry, how much are we down to now? Oh my goodness, we're down to less than 50 already. An amazing deal. That is the joy of being able to join us so early in the morning. You get these fab deals and get to see all of them. This book I'm really excited to see. Oh, look how adorable. Oh, wow. All right, I've never made bags before, but I'm inspired to do so. Look at this. Well, you see, I do patchwork and quilting mainly, but this is now halfway between making a bag and doing patchwork. So that's a nice way of easing me in, if you like I needed a reason to be eased in. Look how beautiful these are. This is very cute as well. Look at that handle. And these must be one of those, it's one of those things that you actually have got all these different accessories waiting around, sitting in your sewing room that you've not used yet. And now is the perfect time to be able to do it with these little clutch bags and all these different bags to be able to use all your different buttons. Look at these. That is fabulous. So these are, oh, look. Sorry, I'm just seeing this one now because this ties into what we've got at 9 o'clock. Look at that. So this is a fantastic deal. Congratulations if you've managed to get it already. This is $15.98. Absolutely stunning, but for a beginner you look at that and you go, I don't want to do it. So they've got a cushion, they've got a pillow, so you can then go and do a really simple pillow like that and see if you like it. It gives you the full instructions of how to do it. You can use these phenomenal tilde fat 8s to make these projects. These are coming up after this. Really fabulous project this. And they go down to these really simple projects there. And when you feel confident about doing that, then maybe you want to do the quilt, because this is actually one of the most simple projects you can do, even though it looks so impressive and so daunting. It's actually really not when you sit down and start doing something small and then expand it out. But if you want something even more simple, you can't get much more simple than this project here, because all it is sewing straight lines. But look how beautiful that quilt is. So you can see you're starting then as a complete beginner, but then when you start going then and you get a little bit more confident with yourself, you look at this one and you think, oh my goodness, how beautiful is that? And when you break this down, it's actually not difficult to do. It's a really simple one to do. It's just one of those things that you've just got to take the plunge and try it. These are, but every single quilt I look at in this book, I am so excited about and I really want to try. If only I worked for a sewing channel with lots of Tilda fabric where I could potentially say, maybe I should take that whole bundle of fat quarters over there and make these. You know, if only I could do something like that. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, Hayley. Just look at these. They're so beautiful. And again, you've got that gorgeous quilt on the wall, but also you've only got it as a pillow as well. So it's great that they've broken it down to do something really small. But every single one of these quilts have a wow factor. They've got a feature in it. And it's not just the way that they've quilted it. It is such clever design, doing things really, really simply. And it's absolutely effective beyond words. So it's just really great. So that's our new Tilda book, Quilts from Tilda Studio. $14.99 for that. Sorry, I'm in the wrong camera place there. Really, really great book. And it is definitely one of my top books that I've seen in the last few months. So a really, really great book, that. Hope you check that one out. Now, speaking of Tilda, let's talk about that hinted fat quarter bundles and fat eighth bundle. So these fat eighths, I absolutely adore fat eighths. The fat eighth, so many of you don't know what a fat eighth is, so let me show you. I'm going to take out one of these gorgeous Bon Voyage fat quarters, because most people are like, what on earth is a fat eighth? Because not a lot of us have seen them before. So this is what you know as a traditional fat quarter. Roughly 45 centimetres by 55 centimetres, so that's your fat quarter. I've probably chosen the wrong fabric there. Oh, no, it's not, it's different. So what is a fat eighth, you ask? Let me show you. It is literally half a fat quarter. So that is all a fat eighth is, and the advantages of a fat eighth is sometimes. Now, I'm a bit of a fabric hoarder, as my 16,000 meters of fabric will tell. Sometimes you don't need a fat quarter of every single color. Sometimes you do, and I don't know what I'm talking about when I say you don't need fabric. But actually, being honest, we don't actually always need a full fat quarter. The great way of being able to get every single design in the collection where you don't actually need to have that much, where you're just doing a slightly smaller project, and I've broken this label. But if you're doing a plique or if you're doing a Dresden, these are perfect because the Dresden plates, they need 20. There are 20 fat eighths here. So you can now go and make 12 Dresdens, all using one of each fabric. How incredible would that look? So these are just a really nice little feature that they do. So let me show you all the different designs on these as well. And you can hear now the pitter-patter of the cameraman running away to go and do that. Not yet. There we go. And you can see just how beautifully detailed these fabrics are. Tilda's got such a great feel about it. They've got such a great mixability factor to them. They're really, really great. They're timeless and they're just so effortlessly beautiful. But the detailing on it here, if you look at the wonderful detailing of the little birds all around there and the leaves as well, it's absolutely stunning. Sorry, I've got these in the wrong, there we go, there. So this range is called Bon Voyage, and you can just see such a nice, nice collection there. That's the next two. And I'm loving this. And it's just so wonderful to be able to see how the colourways change ever so slightly. The designs change with every colourway. And again, that fat eighth, it's half a fat quarter. So it's a really nice way of being able to get every single colour. These weren't launched very long ago either. They were in April. And Tilda's such a classic designer. Her work is so effortlessly beautiful. And she takes all of her inspiration from ceramics and pottery from all around the world. And she's just such a talented designer. She's really great. And I just love this. Look at the beauty in that fabric. It's absolutely stunning. And so you've got a nice little range of them. So you make these come in a little bit smaller scale than the larger ones that I've just shown you. But they just all got that effortless beauty in them. Very chic. I adore these. And look, just the subtle red dot there tying in this fabric over here. It's great. Look at that. And you can see I'm not even finished showing you all the different fat 8s you're getting here. There are 20 different pieces in this bundle, and that's $49.99, and you'll get a piece of every single fabric in the range, and it's just so nice to be able to get a small portion of each patient. How much was it? £2.50 a fat 8. It's a really lovely quality, that. Yes, I think that is right. A little math head working there. And you can just see those are the last two in this bundle. So it's a really lovely, lovely combination of fabrics here. And later on, I'm going to be able to show you how they all go together. So that's the fat 8th bundle that we've got there. But equally, we've now got the fat quarter bundles. So this one is the purple. Oh, it doesn't tell me here. Is it blue or lavender? It's the large scale one, not the small. So there we go, those are the 5 fat quarters in that. So these are the large scale prints in this. So the 5 fat quarters there are £22.99, and that's the larger scales of the, obviously the fat 8s had all 20 of these fabrics, so you'll be able to go back and see all of those. Now the tilde we're not going to be able to get back in again, so we are getting quite low on the product. So again, if it sells out, we can't get the back in again. So if you're thinking about it, don't think for too long. We don't want you to miss out on the fabric. This is now the, is it the blue small? This is the blue small combination there. Again, a really beautiful, beautiful combination of colours there. Imagine these as a really great pocket lining or a feature on a top or a bag lining or something like that. It will be really good. So this is now the red small range. And this is a really great colourway as well here, and we've got that beautiful small print collection there that I showed you in the fat 8s. Just got those in the red small colourway there. And then lastly in this fabulous collection, we've got the red large print scale, and these are also 5 fat quarters there for £22.99. You can just see how beautiful all those colours are as well. Now, if you don't know what to do with your fat quarters, just look back on the wonderful books that I've shown you previously with Debbie and as well with Wendy. Really, really lovely combinations of ideas there as well. And don't forget we had our lovely early bird. Shall I recap the early bird? We've got this fabulous early bird deal this morning. $15.98 for 3 books today. We've got the fabulous Sewing Room Accessories by Debbie Shaw. And we've got the Quilted Covers and Cozies, also by Debbie Shaw. So that's her first one there, the Sewing Room Accessories. Then we've got Quilted Covers and Cozies, also by Debbie Shaw. And then we've got Patchwork Bags by Cecilia Hanselman. I'm terrified I'm saying that name wrong, sorry. These are working out at £5.32 per book, but you're getting all 3 of these for $15.98. And they're a really, really great deal. And that's the advantage of joining us nice and early, because our early bird, gosh, we've got less than 30 of these combinations available now. And they will sell out today, I have no doubt. But they sold out the last time, which is why we were so lucky to be able to get them back in again. So if you're looking for ideas on how to use your fat quarters, that's a great way to do it. Now we've got our Tilda Apple Butter collection. Are these the same? Oh, this one's missing a few, I think. 10 fat quarters, sorry. See, what happens is we get a bundle like this and we think, oh, that's beautiful, I'm using that. So somebody then takes the fat quarter and uses this. So what I'll do is I'll show you 1 or 2 of these, because the colorways on these apple butters are absolutely stunning. Look at that. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful dot. Do you know what this looks like? Do you remember, you know, in winter when you get those wonderful strobing lights going up and down? Doesn't it just look like that for you? So you've got the same color, the same design in 5 different colorways, then with a coordinating solid that goes with it, which I have just loved the colors on these. We've got 10 fat quarters here for £31.99. Well, that's what I'm thinking as well. I'm just sorry, as I said that, how is that price right? £3.90, or just under £3.20 a fat quarter there. That is a really, really great price on that. Don't tell Hayley, in case it's wrong. So there we go. We've got that one colorway there, which you can see in this fabulous bundle. So this is the bundle you're going to get. This is the one I've just shown you here. This is the really great rainbow bundle here. So you've got this lovely green, you've got the lovely teal, the mustardy yellow, that red, and that gorgeous blue. That's the one I've just shown you there. So you can just see how beautifully they come out. And the solids work so beautifully as well. Look at that solid there in the blue. Really, really lovely solid there. And then again, we've got this wonderful red with the pattern there. Absolutely loving these. And these have been very, very popular. You can see the yellow there as well. But these would be great to do as a quilt, and having all of these different fabrics in one bundle as a kit. That's a lot of fabric there. So 10 fat quarters, that's 2.5 meters if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is, because you've got 5 by 2.5 meters of fabric. So that's a lot of fabric for £31.99. It's a really nice way to be able to do a project, and you've got everything's coordinated. And if you're wondering how to do it, just cut them into 10-inch squares, or cut your fat quarter down into 4 pieces, and then just sew all the pieces together. It's a really nice way of being able to do that. So that's our now apple butter tilde collection there. Gosh, we've got less than 20 available on these as well. So I'm hearing we can get that back in again if we can try. Just obviously where we are at the moment, everything's running out of stock everywhere. So buy it while you can, buy it while you can. So I'm just absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of wonderfulness that we've got on our table today. So we've now got a lightweight fat quarter bundle here with our Brights colorway. This is the So Easy Basic Bright Pack of 8 fat quarters. So it's a different quality here. It's a little bit thinner than what you'll be using. It's a bit more of a crafting cotton on this, but it's a great way to learn and to practice and to try. But just look how beautiful those colours are. They're just gorgeous. But it's a nice colourway there, and I'll show you then. Is this the same colourway? It is the same colourway. So these are £1.62 for a fat quarter here. But I love this mustard, and you can just see then how beautiful that is. Lovely, lovely colourway that. But it's a really great deal, and it's good to be... We're always going to have a project where you're not quite sure what to do and you don't want to use your best fabrics for it. This is just such a great way to be able to practice with it and try different things, and to do all of this. Perhaps you wanted to try applique for the first time. This is a great way of being able to do that. Pop some stabilizer on the back, or not stabilizer, heat and bond or bonder web, and you can practice then how to do that, not using your expensive fabric to do it. And the colours are just so vibrant. Really, really great deal. We've sold out of these so many times. We had it as an early bird a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? It was really great. So you can see the colours really go well. It's a lovely, lovely combination there. Really great. So that there, it is 8 fat quarters then, so 2 meters of fabric for £12.99. Now remember, we are not able to get these in ever again, and poor little Susan's having a day off, so I'm going to do half of this to show you just what half the fabric is. Susan works very hard, so she's allowed a little day off. If you don't know who Susan is, she's my little mannequin. So you can see this is our Squiggly Fabric, the Aqua extra wide backing, 108 inches by ½ meter, and these are now not able... Normally we say we're going to order more, get more in. This is it. We cannot get any more of this. This is the last of the stock. $8.99 for a ½ meter by 280 centimeters. That's 108 inches wide. Really great for quilt backings, curtains, bags, linings, even if it's a nice little summer dress for a little kid, that would be gorgeous. It's just such a beautiful fabric. Also, I'm determined I'm going to get a piece of this to do free motion embroidery, to be able to colour in all the circles. That could be quite fun as well. And to practice your quilting as well, if you go and stitch on the lines, that'd be a nice way of being able to do that too. This is our Aqua colourway on this. And it's just such a nice colourway. Ooh. Actually, that would work quite well as a backing on the quilt there. I like that. Oh, I'm actually thinking they all would. Oh, that pink definitely would work. Ooh. With the green. Oh, the green really does work. Look at that. Liking that. Well, let's go back onto our green while I've got it half open. So this is half of what you're getting there. This is folded in half. This is the green extra wide backing fabric here, 1/2 meter for $8.99. Sorry, how much? Oh my goodness, we've got less than 20 meters of this green left. So, and we cannot get it back in again. That is it. We cannot get this back in again. On the Aqua, we've only got less than 10 meters left of the fabric there on the Aqua. So, and again, we cannot get this back in. As much as you've loved having it and you've bought it so well, it's just unfortunately you just can't. There is no more. You know what these factories are like. They print it once, we buy what we can, and then once they won't print them again, no matter how popular they are. And then this one we've got less than 12 meters on the pink now. This is the extra wide squiggly pink backing fabric. 1/2 meter by 2.8 meters. And look at that just gorgeous swirl on there. Doesn't it just look like a raspberry sundae? Some strawberry ice cream on there and the little raspberry squirt of syrup on the top of it. Love that. So now remember, if you're wanting to buy a meter of this fabric, you just order 2 units, because obviously these are priced by the 1/2 meter, and they would come to you, so you want 2 meters, you could put 4 units, that would come to you as a 4-unit piece in one go. So you're going to order those, they won't come cut up in 1/2 meter segments. So if you order 4, you'll get a 2 meter cut of that. So these are the 3 different colorways that we've got here. We've got the pink, we've got the green, we've got the pink, we've got the green, and we've got the blue. There we go. I'll learn to do this properly one day. And these are all $8.99 for a 1/2 meter there as well. Now, we're going to have a little tour of our fabulous website now, just to show you how to shop here. So if you type in www.sewingstreet.com, you're going to come up to with our sister station jewelry maker. You're on the right place, don't worry. So first of all, you'll see me doing my design roll race there. You're going to get the live video if you're looking at it today. And then you've got that wonderful little category thing there where it says shop our category. So it has its moments. We're doing what we can. So just, if you click on that, what should happen is you're going to come to our wonderful catalogue there, and it's broken down into various sections. So you've got the books and patterns, fabric panels, pattern fabric, plain fabric, kits, tools, storage and haberdashery, sewing machines and overlockers. Now, if you've come to this page and it hasn't taken to that, I'm just going to ask you to refresh your screen or click back and then click the category thing again. These gremlins, no one knows why they happen. They're just coming up every now and then just to annoy us. But we're doing the very best that we can there. So now let's say you wanted to look at the books and the patterns. If you click on books and patterns, that will then take you to all of the books and all of the patterns that we've had on the shows. Oh gosh, there are my Bargellos. Hello. And you can go all the way through this. And I'm just thinking they're not meant to be on there. But there we go. Got all of our books and patterns. Oh my goodness, that Carl Hesch book. That New York Beauties and Flying Geese book is gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. So you can see we've got 3 pages of books and kits, books and patterns there. So we've just decided to make it a little bit easier because we've got so many amazing products. We thought sorting them out into a different category would make your lives a bit easier in trying to find it. We do have a website being built now. Loads of designers are busy getting it all ready, but where we are now, things are taking a little bit longer than we'd like, so bear with us. So we have had these on a few times before, and I absolutely adore adore these two fabrics. This is the Succulent Rosettes fabric, if I'm not mistaken. So these are sold individually today. This one is the Trellis, if I'm not mistaken. It is indeed. This Rustic Rosettes Trellis wall fabric, and I absolutely adore this because you can fussy cut out all those little succulents, you can cut out all those different words, and you can, if you're doing a hexagon quilt or you're doing a square paper piecing, all of these can be cut out and used for English paper piecing very, very comfortably, and it's just such a beautiful fabric. And I do think as a backing as well on a quilt, that would be absolutely lovely. But even if you're not doing it for a quilt, because you know me, I'm always very quilt heavy, if you're thinking of a nice little bag, can you imagine this as a nice little picnic bag, or as outdoor cushions, or a table cover, tablecloth, that's what I'm thinking, sorry. It's very early in the morning. But it's a great way of bringing the outdoors indoors and vice versa. It's just such a great, great fabric. And they've got such wonderful wording on it as well, which I think is very, very appropriate for now. Super, super limited on these. We've got less than 5 meters of this now. Cannot get it back. This is one of those fabrics that once it's gone, it's gone. So if you want it, make sure you don't hang around because it will be gone and then you can't get it again. $5.99 by a half meter for this. Really, really great that. But if you prefer the succulents border, not succulents, rustic rosettes, not succulents, rustic rosettes border fabric there, this is definitely the way you want to go. Really, really beautiful these. These are just gorgeous. I love the detailing on this. Again, $5.99 for the half meter on this. 100% cotton. Who's the designer? P&B. P&B Boutiques, yes. Really, really lovely fabric that. Absolutely love it. So that is now, again, we're down to our last bits of this now. How many? Less than 5 meters of this one as well. So if you are interested in getting it, please don't hang around because we don't want you to miss out. So now we're going on to our Canning Days bundle, which I'm not mistaken is this one. Our lovely bright and colourful Moda Canning Days bundle here. These have been so popular and I'm not surprised. Look how beautiful these colourways are. I'm just, oh gosh, they're gorgeous. So you're getting half a metre of each of these. There are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 half metres there. 4.5 metres of fabric. Oh, I'm going to do this. There we go. This is our combination there, 9.5 meters of the Canning Days Moda fabric. Look how vibrant they are. And so subtle at the same time, if that makes sense. They're really adorable. And the great thing is, with that amount of fabric, you're going to be spoilt for choice on how we're doing these. Let me show you these individually. That's our first colourway there. I'm loving these. And they complement each other so beautifully because they've used the same colours, the same base colours for each of these fabrics. They've just used different ways of doing it. So that one there you can see has got the red, where this is the exact same design. Is it the same design? It looks, no, it's slightly different. Oh, I'm confused now. But you can just tell that they've just used a slightly different colourway on it. It's just really clever. Oh, I'm not sure now. Getting all confused now, doubting myself. But you can tell how beautifully gorgeous these colours are. And they go really, really well. And I love the fact they've put this, I don't want to call it a brown, so it's a grey brown, because it just, you need that darkness in there to just make this collection zing so beautifully. Because you can tell there, it just brings that whole fabric bundle to life. That one is lovely. And again, just look at how different they are in the two different colourways, and they're exactly the same, but how they just change completely when you change the colourway. Such a lovely collection here. These are the Canning Days collection, 9.5 meters here for $66.99, and such a lovely, lovely colourway there. That's definitely a mega bundle there. Right, what have we got next? We're staying with our Moda collection today, and these are the Three Sisters. We've got the Three Sisters Memoirs collection here. So shall we start with this one? Is this silver? This must be the silver collection. Oh, I love these. I was very excited the other day because Hayley let me take some of this away and go and play with it with the lazy angle quilt. I just adore these fabrics. They are so good. They're really great quality, but they're also just really, really beautiful. But it is a premium quality quilting cotton, these. They're absolutely stunning. So that's the bundle there. You're getting 9.5 meters, a great blend of colours there, and it's £66.99 for 9.5 meters there. Let me show you these individually as well. So the first one, we've got that one. And the great thing with this is you might not be able to see it on there, but we've actually got words on it and script on it as well. So what I love about these, you've got that background detail that you may not notice on that colourway, but when you look at it on this colourway, you can tell the wording on there, and you can tell the wording. But that's what I love about the Moda with what they do, is that they take this bold, beautiful print here, and they just make it slightly lighter there, where it's a little bit more subtle, but equally as beautiful. And these are designed by 3 actual sisters. They do all work together to do all these fabulous designs. And I think this is my second favourite in this collection. I love this. I just think the detailing on those flowers are beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And then we've got this one. But this is definitely a collection that you would just either leave on your shelf waiting for that perfect project, or you found that perfect project and you know exactly what you're going to do with it, because these fabrics will just speak to you, and they're just so originally quilting. I love these. And then we've got this one as well. Really, really clever design on that as well. There we go there. This one actually has got so much detailing on it as well. It's incredible. It's not just that one section. This is a really good one. I love these. You're getting 1/2 meter of each, but just look at the detailing on this. And I've actually bought a substantial quantity of this. I'm doing a stack and whack out of all of these. And it's got a 25-inch repeat on this. So I got 250 inches of this. So I don't know how many meters that was. We'll try not to think about it. I think it's just over 6 meters of this to be able to make one quilt. It's going to be gorgeous. I can't wait. I definitely do have a fabric addiction. There is no question about it. But the great thing is my fabric's no longer stored in my house, so I can hide it. I mean, it's always been there. It's never, I don't know what you're talking about. It's always been here, even if it was released last year. And that's the last colourway in this as well, which is, again, those ones with the words in the background. The first 2 fabrics, you can see how different it looks with just that beautiful red background there. So this is our fabulous, is this the silver colourway? Three Sisters Memoir silver fabric bundle there. Absolutely stunning. So I'm going to do the Aqua Collection next. And I'll show you these, because this is, without question, my favourite fabric of the whole collection. So I'll show you that next. But I'm just opening these out so I can show you. So these bundles are exclusive to Sewing Street, not sold elsewhere. Oh. But look at those. Oops. There we go. So that is the light blue fabric bundle there, 4 meters. So you've got 8 fabrics there. Absolutely stunning. When you've got that big pop of red in it. But this fabric here, now I'm sorry, I have to show you this, because this is the fabric that I bought 250 inches of. Because look how beautiful that is. This is unfortunately only available in the bundle, but look how beautiful this fabric is. Absolutely stunning. This is definitely, it's a little bit of a piece of art quilt there. Absolutely love it. 4 meters in this bundle there, so that is the first colorway there. Now this one, we are limited on this bundle. Just checking. We only have 5 of these bundles left, so if you are interested, unfortunately we cannot get it back in again. So you can see how incredible these different colors are as well. They just work so beautifully. This one is absolutely stunning. The detailing of those flowers has got that beautiful teal in the middle of that. And then you've got this cream trellis as well. You can't really tell, but that is the same pattern as this one, just in cream. It's a really great colorway, that as well. Oh, and this traditional flower is lovely as well. And then lastly, we've got this one. So we've got less than 5 of these. Oh, and I've just heard 1 or 2 have gone into baskets. Now, let me just remind you, if you haven't purchased the product, unfortunately, it's not yours. It can be snatched out of your basket if you haven't paid for it. So do make sure you check out. And you can check out as many times you like throughout the day. Only 1 day P&P, $3.95. So if you check out 5, 10 times through the day, you're only paying the 1 day P&P. You don't ever have to worry about paying more than that. Now we got the last bundle here from Moda in our Memoirs 3 Sister collection. We've done the silver, we've done the light blue, and now we're going to do our navy. And of course, I'm so good at this. I moved the bundle and I have now wrecked it. So give me a few seconds to get this right. Boom, boom, boom. And I think there are 9 in this bundle, aren't there? Yes, 9 in this bundle. But it's just so nice. But you see, navy is definitely one of our most popular colorways with that. And just look how beautiful that is. I know we use these navies in our log cabin blocks as well. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful combination of colors here. So here again, we've got the F from college on porcelain. It's odd that I know that by heart, but there we go. That's our first colorway in this bundle. It's our second colorway. And then we've got our third. And then we've got our fourth colorway here. The detailing on the leaves of that are just beautiful. So if you bought all 3 bundles, you'd get the entire range of everything that we sell for Moda in our Three Sisters Memoir collection there. And what a great collection to have. Loving that. That's a really good fabric as well. This one I've used before. Is absolutely stunning to work with. I used these for the log cabins that we did. Absolutely lovely. And then last but not least, we've got that. And as you can tell, that is a beautiful, beautiful color combination there. Hopefully I've got these on the screen. So I'm going to move these down as we go. And there we go. So you're getting all 9 of those fabrics now in that bundle for $66.99. If you don't know me, I'm John ColeMorgan and I'm a quilter, and this is what we've got at our 9 o'clock hour. I am so excited to show this to you. I'm terrified this is going to fall off in my hands, but there we go. 66 inches. Look how huge it is. 66 inches of absolute gorgeousness, brought to you by the Quilt Room down in Dorking with Pam and Nicky Lintott. Their fabulous book, Jelly Rolls Quilts in a Weekend. We're going to have that back after the break. We're just going to reset the set. See you in a few seconds. Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you, and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @SewingStreet. We have Facebook. We've got 2 Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page, and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All 3 of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those 3 and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly, and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hi, I'm Debbie and I am so excited to be launching my latest book with you exclusively on Sewing Street this Monday morning. This is Sewing Secrets Quilting and it's a techniques-based quilting book which is suitable for beginners. I think you're going to learn a lot. I'll take you through different types of jargon, the quilting techniques, and all of the things that you're going to learn from the tutorials in here you can take through to make 10 different projects. So we talk about binding, we talk about straight line quilting, quilt as you go, free motion embroidery, and again using all of these techniques to create not necessarily huge quilts, but simple, achievable products using really professional techniques, so you're going to get a professional finish. So join me if you can here on Sewing Street exclusively on Monday morning for my launch. I can't wait to have your company. And remember, all of these are the kind of things that you can be making when you've learnt the techniques from the book. I'll see you on Monday.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw and John ColeMorgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hello, I'm John ColeMorgan, and no, you're not seeing me iron. My husband must not be watching this because I don't know how to iron. My fabric, I was trying to do this in the break, but I couldn't get it to go flat in one quick thing, so bear with. We've got our fabulous Prim iron back. I am so excited. I adore this iron, and it sold out so quickly the last time we had it, so we've waited so long to get it back. Oh, it's so gorgeous, but you see the problem is I didn't turn it on early enough to get this done, so now it's pressing beautifully. Love this. And it's got that steam function as well, but please, if anybody is anywhere near my husband, turn the television off so he cannot see, because I don't know how to iron. I have no idea, darling, no clue. How does that work? Oh, I haven't done the other side. See, this is why I can't iron at home. But this is such a great iron, it really, really is. And it's such a lightweight, you can take it with you everywhere you're going. It's got a steam iron and everything on it. Wonderful. Great, so if I'd had 30 seconds extra in the break, we would have had that. Sorry about that, but proof that I've been able to do this. Now, couple of little things to just remind you about. First things first, these rotary cutter blades. I have struggled like crazy to get rotary cutter blades recently because everywhere's closed or they don't have stock and the deliveries aren't coming through. We have got a set of 3 rotary cutter blades here, 45 millimeters, which work with the majority, the vast majority of all rotary cutters, including this fabulous Fiskars rotary cutter as well, which I'm showing later. These are available at $8.99 for 3 blades, really, really great quality. And my top tip, when you're taking your old blade off, you take one of those blades off and then put the old one underneath, because you'll always be able to tell which the old one is, because it's got a little bit of a ring of where it's been marked and used before. Put that on the bottom, then you're always making sure that you're all safe and everything as well. Really, really great product this. Make sure that you check that out. And then we've got our fabulous early bird. This is only available for 24 hours or when stocks last. We've got a really special early bird for you today. 3 books today. $15.98. We've got this fabulous book by Debbie Shaw, Quilted Covers and Cozies. We've got the Sewing Room Accessories, again by Debbie Shaw, and you know with Debbie Shaw you've got that fabulous quality as well. We've got Cecilia Hanselman's book here, Patchwork Bags, but we're getting all 3 of these books today for £15.98. It's effectively buying 3 books for the price of 2. So it's such a great deal, and we've gone through those at the beginning of the 8 o'clock hour to show you all the different projects in there. So do, if you haven't watched that yet, that'll be up on YouTube in a couple of hours for you to be able to go through and see it. But really and truly, really great quality books on those as well, so don't hang around with it. But I have to say, the star of this hour, there are 2 of them, Pam and Nicky Lintott. This book is absolutely brilliant. I love it. I couldn't stop ogling about it. I showed this on air the other day and I went to Hayley and I went exactly like this. I went, Hayley, I want that one. Hayley, I want that one. Hayley, I want to make that one. And Hayley just looked at me and says, go away, take what you like, go. It was brilliant. I love it. You always get her when she's really busy. So this book is absolutely brilliant. It's great for beginners, it's great for people who are a little bit more advanced, because this quilt was really easy to make, but there are some tips that I'm going to show you to make sure. I'm going to demo that today as well. But before I do, I want to show you this book. Absolutely stunning, because not only are you getting this quilt, look at that, and it's 66 inches wide. Look at this. So you can see, I'm going to get it to the bottom here. Absolutely love it, because what I love most about this is, sorry, I'm jumping around today, Bali Pops. Now, we've had these on the show for a while and everybody looks at them and goes, yeah, they're all right, whatever. They are stunning. Look. But I used that one, which is the rainbow one. So this is the rainbow one here, and I used 1 of these. And then I used 3 meters of background fabric. Now the 3 meters of background fabric will give you enough for your binding as well. So you don't need to worry about your binding. It gives you all the background pieces here, all the ivory that we've got in here, and then this Bali Pop here. They're going there. Now we've had a slight hitch in the current world that we're living in at the moment. We were hoping to have the delivery of all the ivory, cream and light grey yesterday. It's coming in tomorrow. You know what it's like. You've ordered it, you were promised it, and everybody is working so hard in this wonderful system that they've got going to keep everybody safe. But it just does mean that sometimes deliveries, we've got everything ready to go, we've promised it, and it just doesn't happen. But we just care that people are being safe and making sure that they're looking after themselves, and that's the main thing. But we do have the cream, and as you can see, there's not that much difference. And I have to say, the white is quite stark. If I did it again, I'd probably do it with the cream. So this one, you're going to need 3 meters, so that's 6 units. It's £3.49 for a ½ meter. When you order your 6 units, they will come as 1 piece of 3 meters. If you don't want to do your binding in cream, you can then order 2½ meters. Sorry, I don't know what was just said, so I'm going to just go, yes, dear. The wonderful thing with TalkBack, I have no idea. So this is the Oh, sorry, she said it actually does look like cream, and it does. But you can see how well that goes together. It really, really does. But if you're a bit more adventurous and you fancy another colour, check out our website. If you type in 100% cotton, it will come up with a myriad of different colours of things that you want to do. And we've used the Bali pops. I've used the rainbow one. So let me show you what you're getting in the rainbow colourway. Oh, I've got a magic fairy that's organised these all into a wonderful order. So this is our wonderful rainbow colourway here. Move these out of the way. And you can tell, if you can't tell from the screen behind me, the quilt behind me, look at how beautiful all these colours are. You're getting normally one or two of these, but I think it's two of them. Yes, two of them for every colourway. Obviously in the bundle that I'm holding in my hand, we've some things have been used, some things have been cut in half because we're doing demos and things, or they've been moved around. But these just gives you an idea of that amazing colourway on all of these. Look at these, they're absolutely stunning. So that is our rainbow colourway there, and that's what I've used for the quilt behind me. But then, if these are a bit bright for you, don't worry, we've got others. So let's look at the pastel one. So I'm going to do my demo today in the pastel colourway, because I think that's also quite a nice, subtle way. This is the pastel barley pop here as well. Again, $39.99 for the pack of barley pops. And then I'll be able to show, that's such a softer colourway. It's really, really lovely. And again, for the background fabric for this, the cream works really, really well. The white might just be a bit stark. You might not want the white. So if you are looking to get a colourway to go with it from there, you'll be able to do that. Now, most people don't know what barley pops are, so let me tell you what that is. Every one of these fabrics is hand dyed. They are actually taken out, they've got the reactors and the dyes and everything on it, and I can't remember the word for it. The inhibitors and reactors put onto the fabric, and then they actually are left in the sun in Bali, and they're created this way. And the great thing about batiks is that you can use them on front or back. There is no right or wrong side to batiks, but the colours are so unique. So these two are meant to be exactly the same because they're cut from the same piece of fabric. But you can tell as you look at the different sections of the fabric, they're totally, totally different because it just depends where the reactors landed and where the inhibitors are, or how strong the sun is in one thing, or whether the tree of a palm tree stopped in another way, which is what I love about batiks, because they're all so, so different. And even if you bought 3 barley pops, each one of these would be totally and utterly different to the next one that you buy. That's just the joy and the special thing about batiks. They're absolutely stunning. Oh, sorry about that. And just the colours go so effortlessly beautifully together as well. So that's our pastel range. But if you like me and you like a bit of blue in your life, we've also got, is this called Under the Sea? Under the Sea. We've got the Under the Sea spotty one as well. But the great thing is with all of these, not only do you have enough of these fabrics to make the quilt behind, but you're also being able to look. This is what I had left over. So I've got my demo piece for the next hour. So I had a full strip left over for my demo piece for the next hour. And then I had all of these left over. So what's great about these is that you can incorporate these into the back of your quilt if you like. I keep putting these at the back. I'm not showing you what they look like. You can incorporate these into the back of your quilt, or if you're wanting to practice your skills, that's a mug rug. You can just go and make yourself a little mug rug. Or you can carry on making these, and then you can, because these are the blocks that you're making, you can then go and create different designs with these and just make separate blocks, and you can practice with them. Look how effective that is. Or you're doing that, It's just such a clever, clever way to be able to do all of these. And you've got so many of these left over. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 9 of these squares left. So if you left them over, you'd have 18 of these half square triangles left over with these fabrics. So that's what I had left over, because I think it's always nice to know what you've got left over. And also, if you've made a mistake and you accidentally cut a triangle in half, ask me how I know, you actually then have got a spare to make up for it. So I'm getting distracted, as I always do. We've got the Under the Sea blue colourway here, and these are all the colours that you're going to get in that Under the Sea blue colourway here. You've got these gorgeous dark greens and these beautiful blues. And I did ask to do it in this colourway, but I was told, no, do something brighter, do something more bright. And I'm really pleased I did, because the colourway that this has come out in is absolutely stunning. And these fabrics are just so, so unique and different. They're absolutely stunning. And the good thing is as well, for $39.99 to be able to have all these different fabrics, such a great choice of fabric, and then just to be able to put the coordinate with it, it's just such a nice, cost-effective way of making such an effective quilt. It's absolutely beautiful. So these are the colourways that we've got here for the Under the Sea. And then last but not least, we've got the Autumn collection here. And this is also a beautiful colourway. Really, really effective, these. The Autumn Spotty Pack Bali Pop there. Very limited on this one as well, I'm hearing. So I think people have been shopping this morning already. It's a really... Goodness me. Right, so before I've even shown you a single one of these colours, we have less than 10 of these available now, because this has been one of our most popular orders today. But you can see why. Such a gorgeous colour combination here. Really rich. Oh, I'm loving these. And the great thing is you're getting 40 pieces here of 2.5 inches wide, and it's just such a great way to get a unique, great quality batik to try. And if you haven't used a batik before, we'll be able to do, you'll be able to have these all together. So there we go. Those are our 4 Bali pops that we've got available, but let me show you how we're going to make this. So, very firstly, so what I'm going to do here, let me start at the very beginning. So when you want to make this quilt, you are going to need, bear with me while I just double check this, you're going to need 2 3/4 yards, which is 2.5 meters of background fabric, which is what I've used here as the ivory. We've got this fabulous cream as well, and as you can tell on your screens, the cream works just as well. There's such a tiny difference in the colorway. Perhaps the cream would be softer as well. I'm not remaking it, but there we go. That's the cream there. But you could also then, if you wanted to be a bit more bold, you could do black. You could be a really dark grey and have these gorgeous pops of colour in there as well. Doing it as a black background would be really beautiful. So you're going to need 2.5 meters of background fabric. We sell them for $3.95 for a ½ meter. Go through and have a look at our combination of colours that we've got available. They're $3.49 for the ½ meter. Just search... oh, is that £17.50? So if you're wanting the background fabric from us, you're looking around £17.50. You've got £40 then for the Bali Pop. So you're looking at just under 60 quid for 60, under, what was that, £57.50 to buy all the fabric for that. Was the £17.50 including the binding? Was that 3 meters? Was 2.5 meters. So they do recommend that you use the binding as the same colour as your background fabric. That's entirely up to you. If you did, it would be an extra £3.50, £3.49 for that as well. So you're looking at £61 if you wanted your binding. But for that price, this gorgeous quilt and such a great size, but don't forget you're going to need the book. So let's have a look at this book. So Pam and Nicky Lintott, they created the Quilt Room down in Dorking many years ago, and they are absolutely incredible quilts, great quality. Really, really lovely. And they've got these fabulous quilts. So I think there are 15 projects in here, $14.99. So what's that, 99p a project, roughly? So it's less than £1 a project. And you've got all these different quilts. It's not only is it this gorgeous one behind me, you've got 14 other fabulous quilts in here. And these are all using jelly rolls. Look at this one. The Scarlet Steps was beautiful as well. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Really, really beautiful quilts that they've got in here. Really, really great. So do you see what I said earlier? Doing a darker background fabric really makes your fabrics pop. Do consider maybe using a navy or a black or a dark grey for your background fabric with the quilt that I've got behind me. That would be really, really effective. And then when you do quilt it, you can see this fabulous quilting pops up on that darker fabric. It's really lovely. And then again, we've got all these different quilts available here as well. Oh, I'm hearing the book selling really, really well. We had this on the other day and it sold out, so we were very lucky to be able to get it back in again so quickly. But it's just such a fabulous, fabulous book. And it's just got all these different projects in here as well to just be able to explore. And the great thing is it's a mom and daughter team and they are so passionate about quilting. Anybody who's been to any of the Duxford shows or the Festival of Quilts, you would have probably met them and not known about it because they are just the most wonderful, wonderful pair. And you can just tell their passion for quilting on this as well. It's great. And this one I was very keen to try as well. Love these different designs on this as well. This quilt is called Picnic Time and just look how beautiful this is as well. Really, really loving. And I'd quite happily just take another 2 Bali pops and make another 2 quilts out of here very, very easily. The problem is you get to the point where you're like, I can't just make 2, I need to make all of them. And one does have to sleep. I adore these honeycombs ones. So this isn't EPP, which most people think it is. This is actually, the pattern is actually in here to show you how to do it. You just need one of our special rulers to be able to do it. And it is really, really effective. And then we've got Tutti Frutti, which I love. So this book is really, really, really good. And this is then the quilt pattern that I'm doing now for you. You can see that now. And I love the way that they've quilted it with clamshells. It was very cleverly quilted as well. So this colourway that they've used, I'm not sure what that... Actually, it does look like K-Facet quilts. It is. It's a K-Facet jelly roll that they've used. Oh, and backing. Oh, I love that. Hayley, could I please have some K-Facet backing fabric for this quilt? Thank you, darling. Thank you. And then we've got this last one, which is called what? Oh, I can't repeat that one. Big news coming up, girls and boys. Big news. So then you can see, so these are just some of the most fantastic products in this book, projects in this book. Really, really, really special. Great, great book. Definitely a nice, nice project for you to be able to do. And we all want to be able to make a quilt. Now, I will be perfectly honest, I was incredibly busy over the weekend and doing stuff. This quilt probably took me 10 hours to do from start to finish. It did finish quite early this morning, but it is honestly, I had such fun making it. So what I'm going to do is, what you would do is exactly the same as what I'm going to now. I am now using the pastel Bali pop now because I wanted to make sure that I gave you a variety of different colours that I was doing. And what I'm doing is I'm now sorting out these into strips of 3. Now, how you do this is entirely up to you. I was just wanting to make sure that I picked 3 that weren't the same, and I had a darker, medium, and a light. I've got a darker, medium, and a light. You do it how you like, because at the end of the day, it actually doesn't matter how you do it. What does matter is that you're sewing them correctly. So it doesn't actually, sorry. So when you go through the pattern, you'll see that it actually tells you don't actually need to have 42 pieces for a jelly roll, which is great because you're able to do this with a Bali pop because we've only got 40. So what you're going to do is I'm going to start by just sewing these together very quickly. Oh, that's a little bit fast. She's not liking that. So all you're doing now is you're just doing a normal standard 1/4 inch seam all the way down. What I absolutely love about working with the batiks is that just They are so wonderful to work with because they just slide through the machine without any problem whatsoever. It's just beautiful to work with. So there we go, we've done our first seam, so now you can tell. Now I'm going to take this out. I sewed from this end to this end, and now I'm going to sew this one on. So I sewed from that end to this end. I'm going to make sure that I sew from this end to that end. Now the reason why you're wanting to do that is if you sew all of these in the same direction, you're going to end up with a little bit of a bow in your quilting. And all that is because most of us are right-handed, but whether you're right or left-handed, you pull the fabric naturally to one side. So I'm right-handed, but I naturally pull the fabric this way because it's coming off the machine. There's a little bit more weight to it, so there's a natural pull on the fabric this way. So if your fabric's constantly being pulled in that direction, it will distort. So that is the way that that's why we sew things up and down. Now the great thing about these batiks is there is no front or back. They are identical on both sides. And they really are. These Hoffman batiks are a really, really fabulous product, and they really and truly are multi-directional, multi-sided, because batiks are meant to be exactly the same on the front as they are on the back. You cannot go, and that's the great thing about it is, especially if you're a beginner and you don't quite know what you're doing just yet, it's really great not to have to worry about that extra pressure of making sure that you're picking everything up the right way, or you're doing it all the right way. You just, with these, you can just sew them and it doesn't really matter which way round they go because there is no right or back to front. So I'm sewing 3 strip sets like this. I kind of need one of those Lone Ranger music things to go when I'm sewing long bits like this. Da, 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 da. A hat! That's a good idea. I wonder if I can get a quilting bonnet. There we go. So now remember, I've sewn from this end to this end. So the next piece I put on, I need to make sure I'm sewing from this end to that end in the opposite way so that they're going the right way. So once I'm doing all 3, and the reason being is that you need 3 different coloured sections per square that you're going to make. So that's why I wanted to do this. But it's also to reinforce. And you'll notice if you want to pin these, by all means you go right ahead. Your points will be a lot better than mine, and that is all is good in your world. For me, I prefer less steps in the equation, and I'm not too worried. I think you've got to have a lot more patience to pin. I'm not a very patient person. I want it, and I want it now, and I want it to be beautiful. So I will always be using the Pam and Nicky Lintott books because they are beautiful. Right, so there we go. That's our second strip set. Can you tell? Now I'm only using half of the jelly roll bits, so you can tell how easily they're working. So now I'm sewing my 3rd piece together. Now the reason I'm doing this is that you do need 3 unique pieces for this project, but I'm going to show you another way of doing this in order to be able to get 2 different sections out of this being totally, totally different. I really mustn't sing for you, I'm sorry. So there we go. We've now almost finished our 3rd strip set. Now again, we sewed from that direction to this direction. When I put this on, I'm going to sew from that end to that end. I'm going to put them on this end, actually. Right. Last long seam. And then we've got the fun job of pressing. Not ironing, pressing. So pressing and ironing, there's a big difference. Pressing is when you're actually doing seam work, where you're trying not to distort the fabric or move it around. Ironing, I have no idea what that is. I have no clue. You'd have to ask my lovely husband, because I don't know what that is. I'm very spoilt. put everything in the laundry basket, and 2 days later it's hanging up in the wardrobe. I'm very, very lucky. No idea how it happens. It's magic. So there we go. Right, now we've got our fabulous June Taylor pressing mat here as well. Now these, you can press your seams open, you can press to one side, you can press using our fabulous prim iron, which I'm going to be doing here as well. I'm going to press this to one side, and now you can tell I'm just putting a little bit of pressure on this side, but I'm not pulling the fabric because you don't want to distort it. You spent all that time making sure that you're pressing to one side. You don't want to then go and distort the fabric while you're pressing it. So there we go. Now you probably, the more confident quilters, I do find press their seams open. People who are not quite as confident, I prefer personally, especially in this project, to press my seams in one direction. So all of my bundles, all of my strip sets that I'm doing here, you will notice I'm going to press in the same direction, and that doesn't mean, I'll show you what I mean now. So I'm sewing from right to left on this. So I'm going to do it that way, and then I'm going to press these again from right to left. And this wonderful prim iron is back in stock today. Not very limited, unfortunately, but we got what we could. So if you are looking for it, don't hang around. There we go. So we're 2/3 of the way done now with our pressing, not ironing, pressing. Right. And there we go. So that's our second strip set. And now let's do our third. I'm going to make that be the bottom there. Right. Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, this book that we're working from today is the Jelly Roll Quilts in a Weekend by Pam and Nicky Lintott. At 9:30 in the morning on, is it the 20th of May? 9:30 in the morning at 20th of May. We have less than 25 of the books left. Now you will obviously need the book in order to make the pattern, so don't miss out. 25, and we've sold out of them before. It's such a great book. Right, where is the ruler that I needed? There is that. That's the ruler. Bum, bum, bum. I had it. Where did I put it? There it is. That's what happens when you put things on top of each other. Now, I am a confident cutter, trimmer, whatever you want to call it. Do not do this if you're not confident to do 3 layers at once. Do what works for you. So what I'm doing now is I'm layering these fabric bits up in order to do my strip sets on this. Now the sizes you need to do all of this is on the pattern, and you'll be able to check on the pattern what you're doing size-wise. I am trying to make sure, there we go. So I have now created myself a nice clean edge there. And now I'm going to cut this, check that I've got this the right size. Right, 1. Now all the tools that I'm using at the moment will be with us for the next hour, so you'll be able to see those in the next hour, but they really are so good for these projects. So I'm going to cut 4 out simply because I want to show you a trick that I learnt doing this. Right, so what you would do is with all of the strip sets, you would sew them into groups of 3, and then you would cut the strip bits out that you need, and then you're going to sew these together. So what I'm going to do here is I'm now going to just organize these how I want them to go. So there is no right or wrong, you just do what works for you. So that's going to be my first one, and then this will be my second one. Oop, bit too much purple there. There we go. But I'm now going to do one exactly the same as the first one, hopefully. There we go. And that one there. Right. Oh, no. That's it. Thank you very much. So you can see these two are the same, and I've done it that way for a reason, and I'm going to do these two the same as well for a reason, because I found this works really well. Actually, I'm going to rotate those simply because I want my fabrics nesting. So I'm just moving those around to check that my fabrics nest, and that one doesn't. That nests, and that nests. So what I'm doing here is on the back, when I press these, I want to have one going this way and one going that way so that they nest. So you see now that I've just switched all these around just to be able to make sure that I can show you the technique that I've done there. So you can see I've got 2 blocks the same and I've got 2 blocks the same. Just like the last time, I'm going to sew these in that direction and then I'm going to sew these in that direction. And when I'm sewing these, I'm going to press these seams. You can tell there, I know you're coming in, you're coming in. So you can see over here, when you've got these together, if you push them down like that, you can see there's a bit of a gap there, and when you squeeze them, you'll feel it. But if you push that up nice and tight, you'll be able to see that that lines up perfectly there, and you can feel that your seams nest beautifully in that section. So you don't have to worry about your seams meeting, because it automatically does it. The fabric will help guide you to make sure that everything nests beautifully. And that is a nice way of being able to get your points to meet perfectly. Of course, having said that, none of my points will meet on this process, but there we go. I have tried. And there we go. So I'm going to do these. This is called chain piecing. And because I've got the fabulous thread trimmer on this machine, the 560, I've pressed that now to do that. Now I'm doing exactly the same thing on the 2 blocks that are above. I'm grabbing the middle and the right block together. I'm nesting my seams together. Right, so these two, they live there. And they live there, and then those two go together there. Oops. Because I do find that the nesting of your seams makes your life a little bit easier with this quilt, just because everything then matches up so beautifully in the middle. Oh, that didn't cut. There we go. Right, so that's going that way, that's going that way. So we're going to put that there and that there. So we've sewn all of these from there to there. The next bit's going to go from there to there. So I plop that on there, line that up, and remember you're sewing from top to bottom. What's wrong? There we go. I love this machine. If you're doing something wrong, it bleeps at you. Right, so that's the first one done. Again, make sure you're sewing these in the right direction. We don't want to end up with a bow. And again, we're doing this as well, also making sure you're sewing in the right direction. And there we go. So the quilt we're making at the moment is from Pam and Nicky Lintott's book, Jelly Roll Quilts in a Weekend. £14.99 for the book. And the quilt behind me is one of the projects. They've got 15 different projects in the book. Oh my goodness, we've only got 20 books of these left. Not sure how long it'll take for us to get these back in again. So if you are loving this quilt behind me, please don't miss out, because I don't think this pattern comes with... So the quilt that would... I'm not sure whether you'll be able to buy the pattern without the book, but it is just such a great price for 15 different projects in that book for $14.99. The quilt behind me, I've used Pam and Nicky's book and used the Bali Pop for the rainbow Bali Pop. The one I'm making at the moment is our pastel Bali Pop colourway. And I've used, and behind me, I've used the ivory. We've had a little bit of a stock delivery issue, so COVID-19 has struck again, and we are doing the best we can to bring all the products to you as early and quickly as we can. So that stock, we're told, will be here later today or tomorrow, so do keep checking out the website for that. And the Bali Pops, as you can tell, are such a great product to use for this pattern, because they just pop so beautifully. So this cream here, you can tell, if I lay that cream over there, you can see how beautifully that goes together. It's a really good, so the ivory is what I was using before, and you can see that that gives a bit more of a contrast to it, with this, the cream might be a bit more subtle for you. It's a lovely colourway either way, but the cream is in stock available at the moment. You're going to need 3 meters if you do want the binding as well, 2.5 meters if you don't want the binding, and if you're doing 2.5 meters, that's going to cost you, was it £17.50? Thereabouts, yes. So you'll need to get the book, which is $14.99, and you've got 15 different projects with that, and then you are set. So the first thing we are going to do here is I'm going to cut out the squares that I need for making these into half square triangles. So £20.94 if you were doing the 3 meters on that combination. And I've just realized I don't need to cut 2 layers of that, so I can save that fabric for the studio for later. All of the tools that I'm using now are coming up in the next hour, so don't miss out on those either. And this tool is, without question, my most favorite product. It's the one I use the most in my studio. Sorry, I'm concentrating to make sure I get this the right size. And then I need to cut this one down. Right, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to use one of these fabulous charcoal pencils. I absolutely love using these. Where is my ruler? Why do I keep losing things? I just had them. There we go. So you're going to mark a single line down the center of one of your squares. Now when you're marking this line, what's really important is the point over here where your pencil's going to hit. You'll see that my ruler is ever so slightly on that end of where the ruler is going to hit, because what I want is when I do my pencil line, that my pencil line or my chalk line is exactly going to hit that corner, and that way I'm not going to be having one triangle being slightly bigger than the other. I'm wanting that I'm placing the ruler so that my pencil line goes corner to corner rather than my ruler being corner to corner, because I want to make sure that I'm getting the most accurate triangle that I can get. So all of these is about accuracy and how you're doing it. Now, let me show you how I found to do this that gives you different blocks. So these two, remember, are identical. These two are identical, okay? So if I put one that way I'm going to have a half square triangle that looks like that, and I'm going to have a half square triangle that looks like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there so you can see the first half square triangle. So I'm sewing from there to there. But if I put this one over here, it's totally different. And this one is totally different as well, because you can see the blocks have changed around. So that's one thing that I found worked really, really nicely in this project. And again, with this one as well, if you put these on here, you line these up identically. If you put that from that direction, and again that in that direction, there and there, they're totally different. And if you do them this way, they're totally different as well. But it doesn't really matter that much, because when you're actually looking at this quilt, there are 2 or 3 that are identical. Go and find them. Go on, find them. It doesn't matter. So I know a lot of people look at projects like this and go, oh, no, it can't be like that, it'll be weird. Don't worry, it's all going to be lost in the beauty of this quilt. You don't need to worry about it being identical or different. You've just got to keep going and have fun with it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to sew 1/4 of an inch down the center line all the way down. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about now, that's great, because you can get it all from the pattern. It's all there. Pam and Nicky have made sure that the pattern's very, very easy to understand on how you're doing all of this, and it's a really, really simple pattern to follow. And then you're going to do as many of these. You do all of these, and it'll tell you in the quilt how many you need and what you're doing on that. And the great thing, the one thing I love about this book is not only have you got the pattern for this fabulous quilt behind me, but you've also got 14 other fabulous patterns. So it's not just the one pattern that you're going to be getting, it's all 15 different patterns in that fabulous book. $14.99 for the book. And then you're going to press these open. Oh, sorry, you're going to cut these first on that central line. And then you just press these. Now these, you've got the option of either pressing open or to the side. It's your choice entirely. I press to the dark side. So the difference, the reason most people have questions with regards to the pressing one way or the other is, as a long arm quilter, if you're always pressing to one side, you end up with a big lump in your quilt. So over here you can tell, even by having done that to the one side, over here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 layers of fabric in that section where the points meet, and you don't really want to be having that much fabric in one place, because it just means that when your quilting machine goes over it, you may miss a couple of stitches. So most people do recommend that you do press your seams open, because it makes your quilt and your blocks and everything a lot flatter. And then when you come as a long arm quilter to do it, it comes in totally differently as well. So it's a nice way of doing it. And again, you can now see how different these blocks have come out in just by having rotated the direction of your stitch line. Now the only top tip I've got left to show you on this is, in the pattern you will see you are given a size of a square to sew all of these to. I would square all of these half square triangle blocks that you've just made up. I would square those to the size of the block that you're told to do in the pattern. That is the only top tip that I've got left to do that. I'm not going to do that on air, because you'll be able to see the size of how you're doing that in the pattern, because I can't give you all the pattern. You've got to actually buy it, otherwise you can, you've got to make sure that everybody is happy with that. But the only other thing I would do is then square these down to the size of the square that they're telling you to do. But you can tell there, these are the ones that I've rotated there. So these two initially went together like that. So you can see that that's how they were originally. And that's how those two were originally there. So if I rotate like that, you can see these are the same. But having sewn these differently like that, you can see you've got two totally different blocks, but that you've used them exactly the same way. You've just rotated them the way you go along. Because I got quite anxious about having things being the same. But when you look at this quilt here, you can tell that's how you're going to put these all in together, and you'll sew them in that way. It doesn't really matter if the blocks are the same, because they're going to be lost in such gorgeous, you literally can't tell. Because some quilts you can, but it's just you can't tell, so it's not a problem with it. So really, really, really great deal. So the first thing you're going to do is, and I would say when you're going to be when you're squaring those blocks up, you are going to need a rotating cutting mat, because it is really important. It just makes your life so much easier doing that. And you would need a 6.5 or 8.5 inch square ruler to be able to make sure you do those. Those are in the 10 o'clock show as well, so we'll show you how we're doing that. So let me just recap what we have just done and what we've got. So we're working from this fabulous book, Pam and Nicky Lintott book, Jelly Roll Quilts in a Weekend. Really, really fabulous book here. 15 different products in that. They're working out at $14.99 for the 15 projects, just under £1 a project. We have got the book available on our website because we sold out of it earlier in the week. And if you're watching on the repeat, there's a strong chance the book may have sold out because we've got less than 20 of the book available now. That is 10 to 10 on the 20th of May. So you may end up missing out on that. But just check the website, because if we do sell out, we will try and get more in. It's such a fabulous book, and there are so many amazing projects in here. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. So that's the book that we're working from. The quilt behind me I did with the rainbow barley pop. That is this pop here. So I'm hearing that the stock update on this is they are so popular, they're flying out. But it's the first time we've actually taken a barley pop and made something out of it. And I'm so glad Hayley wasn't paying attention when I said I'm making this quilt, because look how gorgeous it is. It was brilliant. And it's just such a great project to be able to sink your teeth into as well. Really, really lovely. And with these as well, the good thing is you can bind them in the background fabric that you've done. You can do it in a contrasting fabric, because the great thing using a barley pop, there is so much colour in this quilt. You can do it how you like. Of course, you know me, I would make 2 of these. I would take 2 of these and stick more binding around the side, because add extra borders on, but that's just me. I'm just a bit excessive in that way. But there's so many colours in here, you can bind it in any colour you like. So that is our barley pop rainbow spotty pack. The demo that I was doing was in the pastel barley pop colourway there. So that one's a little bit muted, a little bit more muted, a little bit more subtle, but such a gorgeous set of colours there as well. So if you are going to be doing this project, not only will you need the barley pops, but you'll also need 2.5 meters of solid fabric as well. Unfortunately, the ivory that we've used in the demo and I used in the quilt, the delivery hasn't arrived just yet, but we have got the cream, and you can tell over here, the cream works just as well, and in some ways possibly better as well. But the other thing as well, I'm just looking here, sorry, these are coming up the next hour, I'm just looking at that, that would work really well as well. So we've got so many different colours available. Oh, that's quite vibrant. Anyway, very different look depending on what background fabric you pick, and you can go absolutely mad and choose whatever colours you like. If you want to find the background fabrics that we do have, or the solid fabrics, just search 100% cotton on the website in the search bar, and every colour that we've got will be available. And it's because we can buy it in such bulk, we get it at such a great price. £3.49 of that available. We've got the what? Oh. Now the autumn colourway, I have to say, I do think that this is an absolutely gorgeous colourway, And this is now issued a stock warning on this. There are 3 left of these, and there are 2 in baskets, I'm hearing. So if they are in your basket, there are only 3 left. You can check out as many times during the day. You only pay the postage and packaging once. But if you've got it in your basket and somebody comes along and takes it and pays for it first, it's theirs. Sorry? Oh, right, ladies and gentlemen. The cream, back in stock tomorrow. It's gone. Sold out. I cannot believe how popular these coordinates have been. But again, check out 100% cotton. Type it on the website. There are so many different colours. There are less than 3 of these available now, 2 of which are in baskets. So if you do like the autumn colourway, please make sure you check out on that. I don't want you to miss out. We will try and get the Bali Pops back in again, but we're just not sure how long that will take in the current climate and everything. And then last but not least, we've got the Under the Sea blue Bali Pop colourway. Absolutely adore this. And this quilt would look stunning in this colorway as well. And again, you're going to need 2.5 meters of background fabric to make this quilt. We don't have any more cream, we don't have any more light gray, and we don't have any more ivory. You can tell our popular colors, all of which we're hoping to have delivery tomorrow or the next day. So do check out our website accordingly. There are loads of other colorways as well that you could possibly use. So make sure that you check all of those out. We've got everything there. We've got navy, we've got all the brights, we've got all these different colors as well. Go through and have a look as well, because I'm just looking here. I've got another couple of bundles over here just to see, just as a small, tiny snippet of a sample of the colorways that we've got. These are only a few of them on the website here. All of these are available by the ½ meter, but these are bundles for another kit. But you can see all of these are beautiful. And again, many of which would look absolutely gorgeous with these as well. You cannot go wrong with the rainbows, with the rainbow Bali Pops there. It's such a great colorway there. Oh my goodness, so we've had, in our first hour today, being Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we had our Squiggly Fabrics, the Aqua, bye-bye, sold out, gone. Can't get it back again. This is it. This is all we've got left. We've got the pink left here, the Squiggly Fabric here, $8.99 for a ½ meter. These are 108 inches wide and $8.99 for the ½ meter. Again, once it's gone, it's gone. We cannot get it back in again. And I'm just waiting to hear how much we got left of this one. We've got 7 meters left of the pink, which is it's not a lot, you know, if you're looking for the backing of a quilt. And how much? 14. And we've got 14 meters of the green. So these have been selling really, really well this morning. We don't want you to miss out. We cannot get this back in again. $8.99 for a ½ meter. They're 2.8 meters wide, 108 inches wide by ½ meter, $8.99. So these we cannot get back in again. That's the end of it. We won't be able to do that ever again. So we've now got, we're just going to recap very quickly our, this is the quilt that we've made behind, coming from this Jelly Rolls in a Weekend quilt. This has been selling really, really well today. Limited edition, limited stock left on these. Congratulations if you managed to get that. And speaking of limited, don't forget our fabulous early birds. We've got 3 fabulous books today. We're basically paying for 2, getting 1 for free. These are the early bird specials here. You've got the Love to Sew collection here. 2 books by Debbie Shaw. Sorry, these 2. So this is the Quilted Covers and Cozies. We've got the Sewing Room Accessories, and then by Cecilia Hanselman, we've got the Patchwork Bags. All 3 of these books available today for $15.98. Really great deal, and we're doing really well on that. So if you are interested in that, don't hang around, because we're going to sell out of that today. And obviously my absolute favourite, which I cannot believe we've got in ahead of everybody else, we've got our 3 rotary cutter blades, replacement blades. These work with virtually every rotary cutter that you can think of. They work in the Fiskars one, in the Olfa one, in the Millwood one. 3 of these rotary cutter blades for $8.99. I know I've been struggling like mad to get these in, so I'm just really pleased we got these today. So we've had such a great show now. I don't know what to do next, so we're gonna have a little break now, because we've got to redo the set. We've got fabulous tools hour for you next. Thanks so much for bearing with us. We'll be with you in a few minutes. Hi, I'm John ColeMorgan and I'm here to give you my top tips on how I go about enjoying my sewing experience. My first top tip, as everybody knows, rotary cutter safety. If you're not using it and it's not on the mat, that blade must be locked. Please be safe. My second top tip is always buy more fabric than you need. If you don't have it, it's always going to sell out. You're going to struggle to find it, and when you do, it's going to cost you a lot more than when you were going to buy it originally. So buy it all. You always regret the bit you didn't buy. My next tip is, positive or negative, always listen to the advice and opinions of other people. Even if you ignore them, everybody has a different perspective, everybody has a different take on things, and it might help you along the way. The next top tip I have is always buy the most expensive and the most useful and the most practical for your brain product that works for you. Some people prefer different things. Buy what works for you. And my last tip is, this is fun, this is enjoyable, and make sure you are enjoying it. Because there's nothing worse than carrying on with something and hating it and not enjoying it. You need to make sure that you're having fun. Those are my top tips and how it is that I enjoy my sewing experience. I hope they help you, because they have helped me. For more handy tips and demonstrations, make sure you watch us on our Freeview channel 74, Sky channel of 670. Otherwise, follow us on YouTube on Sewing Street, where you can catch up on past demonstrations and shows. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw, and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now, this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you, or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw, and John ColeMorgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness, and I'm very excited to be joining the Sewing Street family. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello and welcome to my ironing studio on Sewing Street today. My pressing studio, pressing. I am so excited because Hayley's given me permission to cut up the Tilda Fat 8th bundle to do some Dresdens. I'm very excited about that. If anybody hasn't watched a Dresden show with me before, Creative Grids have come up with this fantastic ruler. And what you basically need to do once you've got the ruler is find some amazing fabric to do a Dresden plate with. This is what you're going to get when you get the ruler. It's the Creative Grids triangle over here, the fabulous instructions over here, so that's the triangle. And you're going to get the circle as well, and I'll show you how to use all of these. But the great thing about this combination is when you get your ruler and you get everything, you're going to get this wonderful set of instructions on how to actually make a Dresden plate, how to do curved edges, how to do straight edges, how to do triangular, fanned edges. So don't lose these when you get your ruler. Put them somewhere really safe, but not so safe you can't ever find them again, because it's a really, really fabulous addition to the rulers that you're going to be getting. So I'm just pressing out these little edges bit here just to make my Dresden fly really nice and flat. And I'm going to do half these colourways. So let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what you're going to do is you're going to find 10 of your fat 8s, and we're going to use 2 of these in each one just to make the Dresden. So in order to see what we're doing, so all I'm just doing is I'm pressing these out. Let me show you what we're actually going to be making. Fabulous primer iron, back in stock today, which I'm really excited about. And again, my gorgeous Tula, what's her name? June Taylor. Why am I calling her Judy? Sorry, or Julie. There we go. So we've now pressed that nice and flat. So let me show you what the Dresden plates look like. So now, the fabrics I'm about to show you, we have sold out of some of them. I know they're on the show tomorrow with Kerry. Very excited to have Kerry here tomorrow. So we've got, this is going to be your Dresden plate, what you're going to make. So here I've used 4 different fabrics, but you can see I've used them 5 times in this Dresden. So this Dresden is completely and utterly, I've just taken the ruler, cut my Dresdens, not done anything with the edges, and I've created a nice flat-edged Dresden. Then I wanted to go and make a curved edge Dresden, so you can see that that's now more curved. So I've used the tool to be able to cut those into curves. So I'll show you how that works as well. But also, I've then got this fanned Dresden as well, with the pointy fan bits as well. So these are 3 different Dresdens, and you can see they come in at different sizes, but I've cut all the blades at the same size. So when you do them, this is now a 1/4 Dresden or a 1/5 of a Dresden. That's how we're going to do it. So let me cut these up now and I'll show you what you need to do. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So what I'm working with here is the Tilda Fat 8s. These are such a gorgeous combination of fabrics. And the great thing about a Fat 8 is fat quarters are great, but sometimes you don't want that much fabric. Sometimes you just want something a little bit smaller so that you can actually just play with the fabric and enjoy it rather than feeling obliged to buy such a big piece. And you can tell with these Dresdens, you do not need a huge amount of fabric. Now I'm cutting 5 layers at once because I feel very confident doing so. Make sure that you feel confident. Don't just cut 5 because I'm cutting them. Feel confident in what you're doing. So these are the Tilda Fat 8s that I had at the 8 o'clock hour. All I've done is I've just cut off a strip of them. And now I'm going to cut these strips in half, just to get myself a nice little. So all of this they will tell you this on the instructions that you get here. All I'm doing here is I'm cutting off the selvages and I'm creating myself a nice flat edge over here. There we go. And I'm getting rid of all my selvages and bits that I don't need. And I'm going to cut this edge as well to get myself a nice flat edge on both sides. Right, so once I've done that, I've now, oh, hang on, what have I done here? Just always check, because there's always one hiding in the woodwork at the bottom there. So what had happened there is I didn't quite catch the selvages of all of them. Right, so you get yourself a nice clean edge there with no selvages on either side. Once you've done that, I then go and I measure it. So this one is coming in at 9.5 inches. So 9.5 inches is 4 and... I'm going to make my life easier and I'm going to cut this down to 9 inches. Just because life is easy and it's live telly and I have enough to deal with without trying to work out math on that same time. So the reason I've done this is because now, when I cut my Dresdens are going to be 4.5. Doesn't that make life a lot easier than trying to figure out 9.5? So now that I've done that, I'm going to cut these into, so there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either cut this into 2 4.5 inch strips, which is what I'm going to do here because I just think that's a little bit easier in the world. Cut that into 2 4.5 inch strips there. Okay. And then you're going to bring your Dresden ruler along. You're going to find 4.5, which I've just have. And this is now 5 pieces of fabric in here. Do not do 5 if you're not comfortable. You do what you're comfortable with. Don't do them just because I am. I've cut thousands of meters of fabric without any issue. You do what works for you. And all I'm doing is I'm following the line here. Now, you can tell I'm about to cut towards myself. Nope, don't do that, don't do that. We have this fabulous rotating cutting mat. It is a really, really great little product, this, and you will see how much easier your life is by having a rotating cutting mat. So I'm going to line that back up. I'm going to put my ruler on top there, 4.5 inches. Oh, there we go. Nothing's moved, it's all lined up perfectly for me. Hold that down, and there we go. Oh, and you can tell I'm cutting too many layers of fabric there. There we go. It moved a little bit, so it just got a little bit funny there. There we go. So there we go. That's my first stack of fabrics. And now this will be my second stack. So with the Dresden here, you can do this up to 9 inches, giving you an 18-inch Dresden. I am doing these at 4.5, and I'm going to take 2 pieces of fabric off there, just because that was a little bit too much for my little blade. And all you're doing is you're just cutting these at 4.5 inches. You can see there's my marking there at 4.5. I'm lining my 4.5 line up here, and I'm lining that line at the top there with the top of my fabric. I'm just being a bit pedantic, and I'm trying to get that in the middle, just because I can, and the fabric's there allowing me to do so. And there we go, I've cut that. See how much easier your life is with the rotating cutting mat? Oh. It's one of those things that you buy once and you literally will use it so many times after that, and you'll be so grateful that you ever did, because it really does make your life a lot easier. So over here, again, I'm going to try and center that, and you can see I have centered that bit there now. So I've lined my 4.5, I've lined my top up. There we go. Rotate the mat. Doesn't that make your life a lot easier? Nothing's moved, all safe and sound, and there we go. So there I've got 10 pieces in that little bundle there. Now I'm going to cut the next bit over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 from the other bundle in there. There we go. So I'm going to have 3 bundles here of various widths of that. So again, 4.5 inches on this one. And it doesn't really matter which way round you cut these, because it really doesn't matter one way or the other. Oh, we've had a question, yes. What do you mean on a strip? Like a jelly roll strip? Yes. Yes, yes. So what the question is let's say you've got a width of fabric like this, like that. You can then take your ruler and you can cut there. Rotate your ruler, cut there. You can rotate your... Yes, you can absolutely do that. I was just cutting a little strip of fabric out. Excuse me. Sorry. But that's what's so great about this ruler. There's so many different ways that you can do this, and the instruction guides tell you how. And then I'm just cutting this last little bit out. So if you were using 20 different fabrics, you would basically use one of every single piece of this range in order to make your Dresden plate. So that is the great joy about having a fat 1/8 bundle, because you can do one of every colour per Dresden plate. It's fabulous. So now let's say you wanted to do circular ends. So I'm just going to use a little piece of Liberty that I had before. Let me just double check, because I'm 90% sure I fold this in half. I just want to double check. I do. Right, so what you do is you take your fabric, right side or wrong side, your call, and you give it a little bit of a fold. You can finger press it, you can iron it, you can do what works best for you. There you go. So you now press that. I'm going to bring my rotating cutting mat back. So you've created this nice little seam press line here. So what you're going to do now is you're going to line, can you see you've got this little black line there? You're going to line that up along your seam line here. So that black line aligns up with your seam line. And I'm going to move that as high up to the top as I possibly can. And then I'm going to use my 28mm rotating blade, just because it's a little bit smaller. It means you get a bit more of an accurate cut. I'm going to hold my ruler down and I'm going to go along that edge and I'm going to cut that off. Now this isn't a very big piece, so you'll see it's not a very pronounced circle, but it's a nice circle. It's a really nice way of doing it. So when I then want to do these as, let's say, a flat edge, just as I want to sew them, so I don't want to do anything to them, this is how I would do it. I would literally just put that there. But the designs are so beautiful here, and that's what's so great about the fat eighths, is because you can now put all 20 of these different designs together, or like, look at those are two colorways that are identical, just in a different color. And you can see how beautifully these go together. These are just such a great, great way of being able to play with the fabric. Now, when you sew all these together, you're not going to have such a massive hole in the middle because obviously seam allowances will start eating that all up. And then the hole, you've got the circle. So you would then cut out, I did have a circle in this little bundle, but the circle's gone for a walkabout. So all you do is you would cut a circle out using this, and then you would applique that into the middle of the Dresden when you finished it. So here, so you can see I've only used half of the colorways of this fat eighth bundle, and there are 20 in total, and you can tell that I think I've used more than 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's 20 fins going around there, but just look how beautiful that is, and look how well they go together. That's the Tilde Bon Voyage collection there. Fat eighth collection. The only reason I've only got 10 of them here is because I've still got 10 that I haven't cut up yet. So that was why, but don't worry, I'm going to take it home and make them up for the next time I'm on. Because you know how much I love playing with these rulers. And it's always good testament that when you find a ruler that you love, that when you can do, you literally just start cutting out, and I just kept cutting and kept cutting and kept cutting, and I just could not tell you how much fun I was having. I even went mad and did tiny ones. Look at the little baby ones. They're really good. And I even did those the other day. They're here somewhere. Nope, that's a big one. There we go. Little baby ones. You could do little tiny, tiny, tiny baby ones. Look there. They're tiny, tiny. I love these because it's just such a nice way to play with them. So if you were wanting to make the Dresden that looked like that, that's how you would do it. You would just leave them exactly like that. So these 2 at a time together, 2 at a time together, 2 at a time, and then 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and up we go. If you're wanting to do these as a curved, you would then use this ruler, as I showed you how to cut this one, and then it would look like that, but in that gorgeous colorway of the Tilde Bon Voyage collection there. But if you're wanting to do something slightly different, you can now do it like this, which gives you the points. So in order to do these, it's really, really simple. You take your tilde range, you fold it in half, you just finger press that line along there, finger press that along, and you're going to sew 1/4 of an inch on this side. And you do that for all 20 of the pieces. And of course my thread's gone a little bit weird there. So we're just going to pretend that that's Absolutely perfect on that. Where's my little pair of scissors? And then once you've stitched that, you're going to go and trim this little tiny little bit off there. And by tiny, you can see I'm barely trimming anything off. The only reason being is that when you rotate this round, you then get a nice clean point in order how to do it. So I'm using my lovely stiletto over here. And we've got them back in. I've been using them so much just to point. I keep threatening to take one home and point with it. So there we go. You've now got that. You've turned it round. And because you've folded the center line over here, you line the seam line up with that center line. You get your June Tailor mat. Now I can feel doing this that that point isn't quite out enough. So the great thing with these little stilettos is you just keep pushing it out. There we go. And just let it out nice and comfortably. So what I'm doing now is I'm lining the central line up with the seam line that I've done. So that seam that I've just sewn, I'm lining that up with the fold line that I had previously, and then I'm just pressing it like that. And you'll do that then for all 20 of your blades. And as I said, you would sew those into 2 and then into 4, and then 4 becomes, where's my half, and 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes, and you just keep going out and out and out until you've got a full Dresden like this. Now I'm going to take these home with me, and I'm going to come up with a little table runner or a placemat or a little cushion or something with this Tilda range, because it is such a lovely, lovely range, and I would just want to be able to show you exactly how that is. So I'll chat with Hayley and we'll get that on the air next couple of days. And there we go. So that's the Tilda range there. Fabulous combination there of fat 8s, and everybody looks at it and goes, what would I use a fat 8th for? Dresdens. They're gorgeous. Absolutely love those. Really, really great. These Liberty fabrics, we do still have some of these fabrics in stock, not all of them. And they're on tomorrow with Kerry. Really looking forward to seeing Kerry. She's joining us tomorrow for the first time. But she's bringing her own exclusive kits as well, which will be great. So let me put all of these to one side. This is our fabulous Dresden there. Right, so which one would you like to start with? We're going to do the Sunset collection first. Now, as you've heard this morning, we have been very, very popular. Our solids are incredibly popular because not only such great quality, but such a fabulous price. And because we've been able to order so much of it, you're able to then be able to benefit from these savings that we're able to buy because we order so much. So the first bundle I am able to bring you today is our Sunsets collection. Just look at that. Got the what are these colours here? So is it orange, peach? So it's, say that again. So orange, peach, sunshine and lemon. So orange, peach, sunshine and lemon. Those are our 4 colourways there. 2 meters, a ½ meter of each, coming in at $12.99. So let me show you what size this comes out at. So each of these will be a ½ meter, and they're really great quality on these. I've been using these for ages. They're such great quality on this. And you can tell such a vibrant colour on this. ½ meter of this, it's about 44 inches wide, so we're taking the selvages off, you're looking at about 42 inches wide on this fabric. So that is the orange, and that is part of our Sunsets core collection here. $12.99 there for a bundle. It does feel like there's a bit of a saving on that one as well, aren't we? Because it's £14 for 2 meters, isn't it? $3.49, so it's... So So you're saving 95p buying that bundle together. A little bit of a saving, but it's just such a great way of doing it, which means 97 pence on that bundle, buying that together as those 4 bundles. So that's the Sunset Core collection. This is our purple collection. I'm saying nothing more. This isn't quite purple in my mind, but there we go. This is our purple fabric bundle collection. We've got this wonderful, what colour is this one? This is brunette, pomegranate, purple. We're just grabbing the name. So this is not the purple collection. I was making great fun of Hayley because this isn't a purple colour combination. So bear with while I grab the purple collection. Sorry about that. We got a bit confused with our graphics here. So here we have purple, magenta, blush, and cream. This is our purple fabric bundle here. £2. £2. You're joking. Right, I'm sorry, I can't bring you the purple collection in this colourway or the other one because it's sold out. What is going on today? This is wonderful. But I feel bad because I had it all ready to go and I had a joke and everything about that. So this is not the purple collection. Which colourway is this? This is the red and pinks colourway. No reds in it at all. But there we go. This is what we've called our red and pinks core fabric bundle collection. 2 meters, half a meter of each. You've got the brunette, you've got the purple. I'm sorry, I really mustn't giggle. So, brunette, magenta. What's the next one? Bright pink and hot tomato. So these are the 4 colorways here. I'm not quite sure it is a pink and reds and pinks, but it is a beautiful colorway, whatever you want to call it. Let me show you each one of these. So you're getting this gorgeous brunette. It's a really lovely chocolatey brown. I'm sorry, I'm just being told that there is red in brown. It is a red and pinks collection. I'm going to just go, yes, dear. And there's the brunette. I can't believe I'm chuckling so much. Apologies. Ooh, right, so then we've got, what colour is this one? Magenta. This is different to the other purple, yeah. Oh, is it? Hang on. Let me grab that. No, it is the same as that purple. This is magenta, and then this is the hot pink. Really great colour, this. I really like that colour. And then we've got hot tomato. Which crisps? No, I grew up in Africa, darling. We didn't have such things. Nope. We had sanctions, darling. I grew up in South Africa. We had sanctions where we weren't allowed to have anything. I'm going to get struck off for this. I apologise, ladies and gentlemen. We're having a bit of a giggle this morning. This is our red and pinks core fabric bundle collection, but it's not red or pink, but it is fabulous. $12.99 there for a half metre of each of those colourways there. I don't even know where to start. I feel like we've just gone so far off course there. So we're going to start off with my fabulous Fiskars cutting ruler. I cannot express to you how much I love this. And I'm now looking for some fabric to cut up. And I'm going to use this cream that we were using earlier, the white, ivory. Now the ivory has been so popular, we have sold out of that today, so apologies for that, but the ruler is in stock. This is without question one of my favourite tools that I have ever purchased. I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit of a considered purchase. I saw the price for the first time and thought, oh my goodness, they've got to be joking. But then I tried it, and I tell you, last week I cut up, I think, 28 bolts of fabric. That's a lot of fabric. That's about 280 metres of fabric that I cut into fat quarters. And my little Fiskars tool did the lot. It was absolutely brilliant. And the great thing about it is when you need to change the blade, it's exactly the same as changing the blade on your normal rotary cutter. You undo the screw here. I'm not going to be able to put this back on again, am I? You take that off, and there you go. You just change the blade like that. When you put it back on, oh, there we go. Fingers crossed I can make this work. Every time I take anything apart, I break it. There we go. But there you go. And when you're using it, you can tell now, when I push that down, you can see the rotary cutter comes down, and then that means that it's active on the fabric and it's going to cut through. If you're going to travel with this ruler anywhere, I would say make sure you keep the box, because then you can put this safely in the box and it's not going to cause any damage to your car or bags or anything like that. And this has got your usual measurements on it. Your hole numbers here are these long, thick white lines over here. That's right. So you've got your hole numbers here are these thick white numbers over here, the thick white lines over here. Those are your hole numbers. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you get the extra ½ inch over there. But then you've got these long lines going down as well. So that would be your half, that would be your quarter, that would be your 3/4. And then you've got these tiny little lines over here. Those are your 1/8 of an inch all the way along. So that works really, really well. To be able to, I would say 90% of all cutting plans includes 1/8, quarters, halves and holes, inches on that. So everything you need to cut with that. You've also got your 30-degree line over here, which is going that way and that way. You've got your 45-degree line going that way and that way. And you've got your 60-degree line going that way and that way. And if you're right or left-handed, so this I'm thinking is the left-hand configuration, you can see the numbers go up the ruler there, but on the other side they're going down the numbers there. So if I rotate this round, you've got exactly the same thing. You've got your 60-degree, 45-degree and 30-degree going both that way and that way. But also you're now going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 while the numbers are coming down. So it's fully left or right hand accessible. Absolutely easy to use. I have slipped discs, I have car accident issues, I have major problems holding a rotary cutter for long periods of time. So for me, I have found this works really, really well. It's really low impact. You do not need to do very much. There are no clasps to unclick or anything. You put your hand nice and safely down on this one. You put your hand on this one and you just push. And I'm not left-handed. I'm right-handed, so I'm just showing you how simple it is to use left or right-handed. Again, 2.5 inches, I'm just cutting these down. You can cut towards you or away. Now normally, if you're cutting with a rotary cutter and you cut towards you, the entire universe explodes and everybody gets very cross. That's fine, and quite rightly so. But on these, you've got these wonderful stoppers that you can't physically get past that point. Even if you're angry and you're cutting aggressively just to get some frustration out, you cannot get past that point because this is so embedded in the ruler. So not only do you have it on that side, but you've got it on this side as well. Look how well used we are. It's just the most fantastic, fantastic piece of kit that I've ever bought. It's still got the 6.5 inch by 24.5 inch ruler on it. I will say that if you are cutting anything smaller than 1.5 inches, obviously you've got this metal bar in the way, so anything smaller than 1.5 inches is a little bit of a problem, but there are ways around it, and you can then you can cut it. So you cut a bigger piece that way, then rotate it round and then do it that way. It's just anything under 1.5 inches does become a problem. So it's very rare that you are cutting anything that way. Normally you're doing 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches, or you're doing 6.5 inches for borders and things, but it's really great. So if I want a 6.5 inch cut, and bearing in mind I'm not left-handed, I just can't be bothered to rotate my fabric around. There you go. That is a perfect 6.5 inch cut. Well, it was 6.5 if I hadn't cut a piece out already. So you can see how easy it is to use. And it is really, really safe. And it is definitely my favorite quilting tool that I've ever purchased. $64.99 on that. But I honestly and truly don't think you will regret getting this. Even with Sylvia, she looked at it and thought, oh, that's quite expensive. I'm not going to get that. She loves it, cannot stop using it. She used it in my studio. She's gone and bought one for herself at home because it is really, really great. Every single one of us, we've got lots of quilting things to cut out, cutting strips out. It's a really, really great way of doing it. So don't bulk at the price. Make sure you're getting something that's going to make your life easier. And you can't put a price on that, can you? But now again, oh, what have I done? There we go. So with our little mini iron, which I haven't turned off again, usual story, before I set fire to the studio, you're getting your fabulous little iron. Yours won't be quite so hot. The great thing is the cord is 2 meters long. So this is now plugged in. The plug is on the floor and I'm holding it there, and the plug is literally on the floor, and I'm still able to get it that way. So whatever pressing you're doing or how far away you're doing it, you're going to be able to do that safely. Comes with a really cute bag, lovely little watering bottle to be able to fill your iron up with watering things. If you know where that is in the studio, do let us know. Thank you. Because we're not quite sure. It's been put somewhere really safe. As you all know, it's in here somewhere. But it's a really great little addition for you to be able to carry that with you. And cooling down takes about 5–10 minutes on it. It's a really, really nice thing to be able to take with you on any form of retreat or anything like that. I put it under here. But the great thing with this is it does have an on and off function. So you can see, as I said, I'd left this on. But it's got this wonderful, you can watch the little orange light at the top. Having said that, there we go. The little orange light on the top's come on now that I've turned it to maximum. Incredibly lightweight. It fits into any bag. You can use it day in or day out. It's really, really, really robust. And you can tell, don't tell Andrew I'm about to iron. I will deny it, even with videographic proof. And it's got a heat setting as well, so you can go from maximum. So you've got the maximum there. This is now off. I've turned it off. But if you rotate this round, you've got, so you can see you've got, this is where it's off there. You've got that little 0. And then you can rotate that round. So I'm assuming that one button would be for your silks and your lightweight fabrics. And then you've got your middle weight there, which would be your light cottons and things like that. But then, of course, you've got your maximum weight there as well. And you can then push your steam on and off. So at the moment, the steam's on. Now my steam's off. If you want to fill it up with water, there's your little hole that you're going to fill it up with. Back in stock today. We haven't been able to get very many of them. But the great thing is it really, really works well. I will pretend I know what ironing is by doing this. Only because there's videographic evidence that will be used against me at a later stage. Well, the great thing with this is most of us, when we do so, we've got to go and get the main iron out. We've got to be able to, you know, doing all of this. What's so nice about this is it doesn't matter whether you're traveling with it or whether you're doing it at home. It's a small little process. You don't have to get the whole ironing board out. Most of us have got those steam-generated things which weigh 6 million tons. Pick them up, put them down. And with quilting and things, you just want to be able to use something really small to be able to have you've got these tiny little nodes. You can see it's a really small little feature that you can then actually press something exactly, and you don't have to worry about it being hidden under a main iron and everything as well. Really, really great product this. And you get the little bag and the watering bottle as well when you want to travel with it or just store it. But there we go. And you can see it's really, really effective on that. It just presses everything so beautifully. And also the way you hold the handle, it evenly distributes everything on there as well. So you're not just doing it on one side. So you've got it really, really comfortably going across there. Wow, I'm hearing that over half of our rotary cutter blades have sold out. I'm not surprised because they ordered so many thinking that there was enough, but forgot about the fact that we can't get them anywhere. They are really, really hard to come by at the moment. So our rotary cutter blades, this is a set of 3 rotary cutter blades, $8.99 for these today. And these are 45mm blades fit, I would say, all of the rotary cutters that you can buy. It certainly fits our Fiskars one, and it fits our Millwood, our Alpha, and the Clover one as well. It fits all the products that we sell for 45mm. You're getting 3 different blades on this as well. So most of us don't change our blades anywhere near enough. And what happens is we eventually go, oh gosh, this is getting really hard to do. I'm going to change my blade. And then when you start cutting 8 pieces of fabric and you feel like you're slicing through butter, you're going like, oh, I should have changed my blade ages ago. Because you can feel the difference when you're doing it with a fresh blade. And it actually is so much smoother, so much more accurate. And also you'll find that sometimes when you've been sewing and you've been cutting, sorry, when you do nick it on something, your blade gets a tiny little nick in it. So when you're cutting repeatedly, you'll notice that it's missing 1 or 2 threads every sort of 40, every little space. And that's with every rotation of the rotary blade, that's then causing the nick to happen. These are £3 per blade, and what my rule of thumb is that I cut a lot of fabric. So my Fiskars rotary cutter blade gets changed at least once a week, because if I'm doing 280 meters of fabric, that's over 1,000 fat quarters in a week. Well, that was over 2 days. Your blade is going to dull. It's just no brainer. It does completely dull. So it's just up to you and how you use your rotary cutter and things. I do say that it's normally, for myself, I like cutting, I change my blade after every 12, 15 hours of cutting. And that's a lot of cutting, but also it happens quite quickly. Before you know it, if you're cutting out a whole quilt, that can take you 6 hours. So you've just got to look and see how you're doing it. And you'll know when your blade's not working as strongly, because you're finding you're putting that little bit of extra pressure on it. And you know what? Blades are a lot cheaper than arms. Go and do that. So these are available today. 3 fat quarters. My goodness, 3 rotary cutting blade replacements for $8.99 there. Glad we got those back in stock. And they're in a great little plastic case. So what I said earlier, when you take your old blade out, you can then take the old blade and put it at the bottom of your new blades, because then it's in a nice safe place. Or if you've used these before, I've kept these and have about 8 or 9 of them in one of an old packet. And then I just keep putting the old ones in there, and when a new one runs out, or I replace a new one, and then I empty that box, then I put the old ones in there as well. So there we go. So now earlier, some of you would have seen me using this fabulous pencil set. I'm going to show you how these work now. I use the silver one. This comes, so let me show you what you're getting when you get it. You're going to get 2 silver pencils, 2 white pencils. Luckily as well, you're going to get this wonderful cap that goes with it. So once you've sharpened your points, you're not going to end up damaging the point or your bag or your fabric. If you're leaving this alone in your bag, you can tell. We've all done it before. A pen has opened, you let it open. Before you know it, the lining of your bag has got a wonderful little squiggle mark on it. Very annoying. We've all done it. So these have got these wonderful caps on there as well. But also, it's got this fabulous sharpener. So you're able to then sharpen your pencils as you go along to make sure that they're nice and crisp when you're wanting to use them. With the silver one, this will wash out completely. Both of them will wash out completely. But what's so great with the silver one is on your lighter fabric, you can draw your lines very, very comfortably. And then your darker fabrics, you would then use the white pencil on it. But it's really great. Like you saw I had a sew line. Well, I put this as a sew line, and I sewed 1/4 inch on this side and 1/4 inch on that side on the previous demo. And it's just really great because I know this will wash out. It's not going to be there forever. And they are chalk pencils. Now, I will be honest and say that I don't have one of these in my studio. And the reason I'm going to tell you that is because what I did was with these blocks, when I did them there, I used a normal pencil thinking, oh, that's fine, not a problem. And then when I cut them all off, it was fine. But when I started cutting them all off, the pencil actually embedded itself into my mat as I was doing it. And then when I started cutting normal squares for the rest of the project, I ended up with these weird black marks on my fabric. So top tip, don't use a pencil. These do work a lot better. They wash out and it's not going to mark your fabric. It would just be much, much easier for you to do it that way. So these are $12.99 for 4 pencils. Fabulous sharpener, and they last for ages. They're really, really good. Sorry, I'm just putting these back together. And that's how that's going to come to you when you get it. You've got your little sharpener in there as well. That's how it'll come to you. Oh, I'm hearing the Fat 8s are selling really, really well. I'm not surprised. And it's just such a great product to have and be able to have a little piece of every single one of those Tilda fabrics. That's really great. Every one of you have seen me using my lovely stiletto. I'm going to show you very quickly how I was using this earlier. So you can tell now what I've done is I've already pressed these open and I'm ready to go, but now I can see that that point isn't quite as pointy as it can be. The stiletto really gets in there, and you can tell I've already, oh, it's come all the way out, so you can tell you get a much, much better point doing that and getting these out. It's really great to be able to do that. So you know if you're doing dressmaking or turning points out like this, you're going to be able to get the collars out perfectly. It's just to be able to create those lovely, lovely points. These work really well. And then as well, if you're struggling to get the point, you can also use this section to get that point out as well. Oh, can you iron over this as well? Oh, wow. So this is heat resistant as well. So you can actually hold that in that point and be able to press it. Oh, that's really clever as well. So what this is as well, when you're trying to put something through a sewing machine and you haven't got much space to be able to do it, you can actually use the nib of this stiletto and be able to push things through the sewing machine at the same time. I'm sorry, my little frog in my throat has come back. Forgive me. Between the gremlins and my froggy, apologies. No one really sits and talks to themselves for 3 hours, so apologies about that. So what you're doing there is, if you needed to push this through a sewing machine, you've got this wonderful flat edge there on the rubber, so you can hold that there as you're pressing it through, and you can go all the way through. It's a really nice way of doing it, especially if you've got some really detailed work that you need to get very, very close to. That's a really lovely tool to be able to do that with. And if you just need to point to get your partner to do things, you just use it and you point it. It works very well. I'm going to get beaten up when I get home. No, I won't, and that is a joke. But now I am really, 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 really excited about this, because I have never, ever used this before. I have never used this before. So I'm going to start off by saying, you're going to get 3 of them. So this is how it's going to arrive. Sorry, our cameraman is now running back and forth, running. Keeping on his toes. Don't think he ever needs to go to the gym again with all the steps that he's been accumulating. So you're going to get 3 of these turning tools by Prim. You've got the tiny one there, and you've got the normal size one, and then you've got the big one. And you've got, these are $7.99 for all 3. So the tiny one, you're going to do that for really, really fine fabrics there. Now, I've never heard the term bag out before, and I had to Google it. I won't deny, I had to Google it, but I'm glad I did, because these are so much fun. So I'm going to start with the big one. So we've all got bag handles and things like that that we need turning around. We've all done it. So you've got your little piece there. You're going to pretend that this hasn't been turned around already and it's nice and smooth and pressed. I've sewn the end in, and I've sewn the 2 sides together, okay? So the number of times that we've wanted to do this and we would use our fingers and try and get it through and get to that point, and then you're wanting to cry and run away and you throw it across the room. You all know what I'm talking about because we've all done it. This tool is genius. So this you put into the inside first. Now, they've got little points, they're angled, doesn't matter. All you need to do is you put that into the center of your, are we going to call it an envelope, pocket, whatever you're calling it. Now, I didn't like to use the pointy bit first. I used the flat end. So you've got your little pointy bit there, that's in there. Then I'm going to take my flat end of this little bit there, and I'm just going to push it. And I am so loving this because you just keep pushing it. And it comes out, and it's the right way round. I know, all of you have probably done this repeatedly, but for my little brain, I was absolutely astonished. But that's not it. Look at this, look at this. So then you just take the pointy end, and because I was like, oh, how do you get it flat? You take the pointy end and you just do this. And you get that nice flat edge. And there you go. So that is the one there. But now, you know what, I'm bored. I don't want that way. So I'm going to put this through the middle again. Can you tell how much fun I had with this? And then I take my flat end again, push that through, and I'm going to turn it around again. And then you get it back the way you had it. And I know all of you have probably used these tools for years, but I was like a kid in a candy store. So that's for the big one. But then you need to do the little one. So the little one, so this is just folded in half. There is no way you're going to be able to turn this round the right way round. So what they've thought is this now, it's too big. This is too big, it won't work. Okay? So you pop that in. It fits perfectly inside. And you're going to do exactly the same thing. And there we go. It's just so quick and easy. And then again, when you're wanting to turn the edges out to make sure you've got a nice flat end there, you push this over here. So if you haven't had one of these before, or you haven't tried to play with one of these, this is $7.99 well spent, because I promise you, I've only used it 5 or 6 times. I mean, 500 or 600 times since I got it, because it's so much fun and it's really exciting. It's just a really, really lovely product. So again, if you don't want it that way and you've done something wrong, you do exactly the same thing again. Oh my goodness, so we've only just got this back in stock and we're down to single figures already. I am not surprised, because it is just such a great product. And Hayley was telling me she was doing, was it a headband? She was doing a ninja headband, and she had to turn that round by herself on her own, and you can imagine that was just so annoying. So there we go. Now, if you've now got your fabric all like that and smushed up and ready to go, so these are in single figures, so if anybody does want it, oh, and the last one is to use for silks and really, really fine fabrics. I didn't have any to be able to do the demo for that, so make sure that you'll all know how to use that. And that's what you're getting there, $7.99, down to single figures already, so if you do want it, don't hang around. And there we go. Now we're going to use our fabulous Best Press. Most of us have used Best Press before, but I'm really pleased that we're able to bring you Best Press that is scent free. So if you're wanting to use Best Press but you haven't used it before, what you would be doing, this has got a starching element in it as well, and it just helps you keep your fabric a little bit more, what's the word, firm? Is that right? A little bit more firm if you're going to be able to do it. It's got no residue or shine, no spotting, makes ironing easier, it relaxes stubborn wrinkles, and it's just acid free and guards fabric from soiling. So it's really great. So now you can tell I've now pressed these in and out. I'm going to give it a little bit of a press with that. Well, I'm going to give it a little bit of a best press. That's probably the best way of doing it. And then all you're going to do is it just then presses out all those stubborn creases so much easier with the Best Press. So this one is just under half a litre here. It's 499 millilitres. There is no scent with it at all. I personally adore the lavender and vanilla, but a lot of people have asthma and they can't stand the smell of any form of perfumes, so we've been able to bring you the scent-free Best Press, and it works just as well as the Best Press with the vanilla and the lavender, but it's just such a great product. And look at that, that was so pressed and smushed and creased, it's completely gone, completely gone. And if I try and do this one, which has been turned inside out without the Best Press, it hasn't worked anywhere near as well. You can tell I've got little crinkly bits there as well. It just doesn't work anywhere near as well without the Best Press. So apparently, if I did do any ironing, I'm hearing in my ear at the moment, you'd use best press. And I'm like, I'm sure I would. Don't know. But that's my lovely husband's thing. He can do that. So if he's a professional, if you're a perfectionist and you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly, this is the way to go. And it really is a lovely, lovely product. Even if I'm I just love them. So next we've got the quilting gloves. These are really, really fun. If anybody has ever tried to do any quilting at home, these are medium to large. So the great thing with these gloves is you've got these little dotty bits, these raised rubber dotty bits. I have no idea what the technical term is, but I'm going to call them raised little dotty bits. Because they're not a plastic, you can actually squish them. They are rubbery. Maybe like a foam rubber? Don't know. But they're really, really fun. You can see there, you've got that raised dimple bit. And what's great is I do find when I'm quilting on my machine at home, when I do that, I'm normally so nervous. I'm doing this with my quilts. So what's really good is you've got the rubber dots on both sides, so it'll help you get extra grip on your quilts to be able to then quilt them more accurately, or hang on to them as you're throwing it through your machine like I normally do. But it's a really lovely set of gloves in that, and you've got the dots on both sides, and it keeps all your oils from your, because you don't realise you've got a little bit of residue on your hands every time you touch anything. So if you're using hand creams or anything like that, these help keep all those residues off your quilt as you're doing it. And because you've got the dots on the fingers, you've got that extra grip on that as well. So these are really, really great to be able to do that. These are $3.99 for the gloves. And you can tell that my hands are not that big, not that small, so these would probably fit perfectly for me. So we've now got our fabulous rulers. Do we want the 24.5 and 12.5? So, first ruler that most quilters ever go out and buy is the 24.5 by 6.5 inch ruler. This one's by Creative Grids. It's got our non-slip, if I do that, you can see our non-slip directional dots. Non-slip grip dots, that's what they're called, sorry. And these then just help keep your ruler as firm against the fabric as it can be. And you can see, where are we? There you go, you can see these dots over here. They're the raised dots there. On the other side of the fabric of the ruler is completely smooth. So if you were doing the ruler as just a normal ruler, you can tell it does move a lot more. And if you're new to quilting, this is probably the best thing that you can buy for yourself, because as you can tell, I'm now moving the ruler the same as I was before. Oh my goodness. It doesn't matter whether you're a bag maker or a quilt maker or dressmaker, these rulers are a lot more sturdy than the rulers that don't have the grip dots there, because you can tell I'm pressing that the same. That's got no grip dots on that side, but if I then hold that there and go like that and doing the same, you can see I'm actually really shaking the table quite a lot. The ruler's not moving at all. It's great, and it's a really good safety feature for beginners, because most of us don't, when we're starting out, we're not quite sure how to hold the ruler. This gives you that added stability to be able to make sure that you've got that safety on it. This one's 24.5 inches by 6.5. This one is $23.99. But sometimes you don't want to have a ruler quite so long, so we've also got our 12.5 by 6.5 inch ruler, so it's almost identical to this 24.5 inch one. It's just half the size. This one's $17.99, and again you've got the same technology on the front and the back. You've got no grip dots on this section, and you've got the non-slip grip dots over here and on the edges. So wherever the rulers can have the non-slip grip dots, it does. And it just means that you're able to hold your fabric and your ruler a lot more safely. And I know for myself, you definitely cannot have enough rulers. Group 1 and rulers 1 and 2. See, I do think I'm definitely a ruler hoarder, because what I find is when I'm cutting width of fabrics, I need my 24.5. But when I'm cutting smaller pieces, this is too big. It's in my way. I'm annoyed. So I use this one. It's just a great, this is a really good size to be able to use, and it's a really good price. That $17.99 for the ruler, and again 6.5 inches across, 12.5 that way. You've got all the individual markings here, so you've got your whole numbers there of your 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch. And then you've got your half marks here, which I think is such a help. So you've got your half, 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 and half. And then this white line in between them are your quarters. And then if you follow those up, you've got the black lines there. And then in between the half and the quarter are your eighth lines. So you've got all these wonderful measurements on there to be able to see exactly how you're using the ruler as well. And you've got your angles as well. You've got a 60-degree angle, 45-degree angle, and your 30-degree angle as well. So all of the different angles that you want are on here as well. Really, really great, helpful rulers there. We've also got your square rulers today. I've got 2 different sizes of the square ruler. We'll start with the 8.5. If you are doing a half square triangle like this, you would put your ruler along there and, oh, I can show you on one of these. Bum, bum, bum. You would be able to center, oh, I'm probably in the wrong way. You can see you've got this central line here, this 45-degree line. You line that up with your central line of your half square triangle, and then you trim that down on one side. Use your rotating cutting mat, it'll be a lot easier for you. Line that up on the other side, and then you square it off, and you've got a perfectly square half square triangle there. But most people who use creative grids love them, and those who don't love them haven't used creative grids yet, because they really and truly will change the way you quilt, or they change the way you use rulers. I literally cannot rave about them enough. This is the 8.5 inch ruler. This one is quite a popular one. I personally have this one, but I also have the 6.5 inch. If you are going to buy the 2, I would buy the 8.5, simply because there are occasions where some blocks call for 6 3/4, 7 1/4, and your 8.5 inch ruler will cover you for that. If you're not unlikely to use that, there's the 6.5 inch ruler there as well. Exactly the same technology. You've got your 1/4 inch, your 45-degree line there for your central section there, which you will line up when you need to trim. You trim down there, and then rotate round with a wonderful rotating cutting mat. Line that up exactly the same as well. Line that up on the central line, and you trim on the other side. Because when you make your half square triangles, you square up your half square triangles, you want to make sure that you're cutting all 4 sides so that you don't have any waste on those. Again, you've got your Creative Grid non-slip grip dots on the back. And these will then just help your ruler being able to be much more firm than it would, because this one's got a this has just got non-grip. You can see that that moves around. Also means your ruler's a lot more flat by doing that as well. But yeah, really, really, really helpful use ruler. Certainly one of the most popular ones that I use in my quilting kit. And these ruler racks, I cannot tell you how much I love these ruler racks. This is the smaller Millwood ruler rack. I've got these all pointing the wrong way around. And you can tell that these hold a lot of different rulers on that. This one is our smaller one, which is, it's got 4 slots. If I rotate there, you can see you've got the 4 slots there. And this is $10.99. However, if you're a little bit more adventurous and you've got a lot more rulers, we've got the giant one as well. I call it giant because I just feel like this has got everything you possibly want on it. So this is our giant stripology ruler. And that's the biggest ruler I think we've got. Oh no, it's not. We've got the giant triangle. Oh, as if by magic. But the great thing with this is you're able to counterbalance the weight of these rulers to be able to hold as much as you can imagine on here, to be able to make sure that it doesn't flop over. So you can just tell there's a huge amount of rulers on here. And they hold beautifully as well, so you can rotate these back and forth. And they're not scratching each other, they're not even touching each other. So if I rotate that like that, you can see the rulers aren't even touching each other. You've got the 5 slots here, and with the pricing of these, you can tell it's only £1 difference between the two. Well, I know, and also you can fit a lot more on these, because if you wanted to, oh no, you've got to make sure they're counterweighted. You can definitely hold a lot more rulers on this one as well. Just make sure you do counter it, so you've got the heaviest one that's at the front, so that it doesn't fall over. Oh, I'm going to try and rotate this. See how huge this is? It's wonderful. Oh, I've had a question in about the extra large millwood cutting mat. In the current times, we're doing everything possible to make sure we've got stock for you all. We have sold out of that because it is so popular. We are doing our very best to get that back into you. The sloth cutting mat, not around at the minute. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. I can hear the pitter-patter of feet. Thank you, sir. And as if by magic, this is a really, really cute little mat. What we've got here is our fabulous little sloths, and we've had these on before, and you've got all these wonderful little different sloths. Create all these wonderful little lives for them, different personalities for them all. I love them. But what's so great about this, not only is it a really cute cover, but when you're traveling with it, most of us don't get huge areas to work on when we're going and doing things. But even on our dining room tables. So you've got this wonderful cutting board here, ironing mat over here. They fold up nice and safely like that, and it's quite attractive. So that's $29.99 for that today. So that has been a fabulous hour. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow we have a really, really exciting day. We are very pleased to be welcoming a new demonstrator. It's going to be Kerry from Living in Loveliness with all of her fabulous fat quarters. Looking forward to that. We've also got fabulous fabrics at 8 o'clock, and then the creative grid stripology at 10 a.m. Is that with Vicky? That's the lovely Vicky. Hello, Vicky. It'll be a great show for tomorrow. We're really looking forward to having you, and thank you so much for your time today. Stay in touch with us on our social media, and this video will be up on YouTube later on. Bye-bye.